Felicia, you're really good with the creative aspect, but you need to become educated on the business side. And so that's when I just honestly just got a thirst to learn so much about the actual business aspect of not just photography, but just business in general, like just learning the principles about business, learning how to manage money, learning how to, just really learn how to operate a business so that my business can be profitable and sustainable. It was at that point when I really was like, okay, we got to learn more about business.
And PD photography is known for its high-touch luxury experience. What does that experience look and feel like for your clients?
It looks like feeling truly valued. Like for the most part, when my clients come to me for photography services, it's usually for a wedding, which to a lot of people, that's the most special day of their lives. If it's for a portrait session, whether they're celebrating a birthday or a milestone, that's also important to them as well. And so when my clients inquire on my services, they're already coming for the most part with that, I want this to be meaningful. And so it's just a matter of us just remembering that and just sort of like keeping that at the forefront through every touch point with the client. And so with our experience is just making our clients feel seen, feel heard, feel valued, and just making sure that we just go above and beyond with giving them the absolute best experience possible. My goal is for my clients to feel like this was more than just a photography session, or this was more than just taking photos. Like I feel as though this was one of the most memorable parts of my life. And that's something that we absolutely strive to do with all of our clients.
That is beautiful. So you place strong emphasis on tangible heirlooms, handcrafted albums, and fine art prints. So why is preserving memories in print so important to you?
I feel like it's important because I think that for the most part, like we should be like the memories that truly mean a lot to us. We should walk into our homes and we should be able to just always see it. Like it shouldn't just be like on the cloud or like on our computer or something of that sort. Like I feel as though even as you have guests entering your home, like they should walk into your home and they should already know like family is important or their love is important. Like it's just to me like just constant reminders throughout the day. And I think that just preserving your images through print and just displaying them on like the walls of your homes, it's just the highest form of like respect for your images, in my opinion.
Well, and what do you hope your clients feel when they step in front of your camera and when they receive their final images?
I hope that they honestly, for whatever reason that they came to me, like where they came with, if they came to me to capture their love or just to celebrate a personal milestone in their lives, I hope that seeing their images is just a reminder of whatever that height of feeling is, whether that's just self-love or just the deep love that you feel with your partner. Like I honestly hope that the imagery that we capture just is a constant reminder of that. Like life is already hard a lot. I would love it if when people look at the work that we produce and their heart is just warmed and they're just reminded of just, this special time in their lives.
And for creatives who are sitting on their gift, unsure whether to pursue it fully, what advice would you give to them?
The very first advice is to absolutely, of course, just seek God in all that you do. Seek Him for clarity. God has just been the driver, the vehicle, just everything in my business. From I started in high school, God has just been He's just been my guiding light. Even like before every session, before every wedding, I just always pray because this is the person who gave me the vision. He called me to do this. So, I have to seek Him for guidance. And immediately after that, you have to have faith to step out and actually, how can I put it? Like just test to see what you're capable of. Like, the Felicia who started in senior high in comparison to the person that I am today, literally night and day. Like I had no clue, like the level of fear that I had back then, it's just so, I mean, I have fear about some things, but it's almost non-existent now because I've I've challenged myself so much. And so you just have to continuously just put yourself out there. You have to just build resilience, and you have to be able to endure the hardship that comes with it. Entrepreneurship will not be easy. There will be times when you would feel like giving up, but you just have to stick with it. You have to trust God, and you just have to be able to take those calculated risks in order to see the fruit of your labor one day.
Well, Felicia, your story is a reminder that passion, when paired with courage and strategy, can become legacy. So from being the friend with the camera to building a brand recognized for excellence across borders, you definitely have proven that creative gifts deserve to be nurtured, and that intention can elevate even the most fleeting moments into something seamless. So Felicia, thank you so much for your vision, your excellence, and your commitment to making every moment meaningful.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you again. Well, coming up next, behind the brand with a game-changing entrepreneur, you won't want to miss this.
Bang ding. Bing bang ding. Ding ding bang. Bang bang bang. Ding bang ding. Bing bang ding. Ding ding bang. Bang bang bang. Ding bang ding. Bing bang ding. Ding bang ding. Ding ding bang.
Hi, I'm Brent Burrows, Vice President of Retail and Sales here at CBS Bahamas. When it comes to hardware or home improvement items, we guarantee the lowest prices. That's our price match guarantee. If you find anything we sell for a lower price anywhere in the Bahamas, let us know about it. We will beat that price. We want your business. Shop at CBS Bahamas or cbsbahamas.com.
Sets to intricate nail art, Nails by Sonovia has been turning fingertips into tiny masterpieces. But behind every perfect design is a story of hustle, creativity, and skill. Today we're sitting down with the owner, Sonovia Smith, to talk about how she got started, what really goes into nail art, and how she's been building a brand that stands out. Welcome to What's Trending, Sonovia.
Thank you for having me here.
It's great to have you here with us. So, walk us back a little bit. How did you get into nails? Was this something that you always wanted to do? Was this a vision, or did it just happen?
Well, I like this question. Actually, my mom is a nail tech, and growing up, I always say, I'm not gonna be a nail tech, because watching her build the nails on, I always say, if I have to build nails on, might as well I build a house. Now, I am 12 years in it, and this is not just a job, it's a passion.
Wow. Wow. What made you stick with it for so long?
Because doing it, I love to see how it makes my clients smile. I like the, oh, I'm so sorry.
You just like the experience, because it's almost like you build a relationship with your clients as well. Yes,
ma'am. And then I like to challenge. I like to do different artworks on the nails. So yeah, I get used to it and I love it.
So do you remember the very first set of nails that you did, and how did they turn out? Do you remember that? We're not doing mom.
The very first set, I could say it was French, and it was so wide and bulky, but you couldn't tell me they were the best. They wasn't the best nails.
Well, that's the best thing since sliced bread.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, all right. And so for those who only see the polished versions on Instagram and the photos, what's really the steps that goes into creating the perfect set of nails?
So I could say, first you gotta put your mind to it. So once if a client comes to me and say they want this set, I vision it and I say, okay, I could get this together, and I just make sure my work is clean and tidy and picture ready.
So typically, how long does a nail design take? Because I know there's so many different kind of nails. You have the acrylics, you have the gel, you have to build the gel now. I mean, on average, how long does it take?
So acrylics, the full set, I could say it would take me about an hour and a half.
Okay.
But for fills, I could run through it for like, it depending on the nail art as well. So sometimes my client would have me like there for almost 2 hours just to do one nail, but we got it.
Yeah, we get it together. And obviously, social media plays a huge role in beauty. So how do platforms like Instagram help to build your brand of Nails by Sonovia?
So I would focus on what my audience like for instance, what's trending, I would make sure like I up to date with the trends or whatever. So once I post, I make sure I post every, day if I could. And then that's how I grab my audience.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So what would you say is the wildest or most creative nail request that you've ever received that you had to do if you were able to fill it?
Drawing, because sometimes my clients don't keep still. So say I have to draw something and then I shaking sometimes, but I could say the wildest is drawing, but I like it.
What kind of drawings?
Sometimes my clients just want characters, but I take them out of that. I'm like, I'm not doing that today.
You say, hold on, we ain't doing all of that today.
We ain't doing all that today, no.
Let's renegotiate it to something I could do.
But most of my clients, they like French.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what would when you sit down with a client and you do their nails, what is that like for you? You said you've been doing this for 12 years. What is that experience like? Because I know just like persons that do hair or other services, you build a relationship with your client. So how has that been for you over these 12 years? What do you enjoy most about your business?
Well, the conversations, sometimes it's be sad conversations, sometimes it's be happy conversations, but through it all, it's getting to know each other, and then we just have a smooth session.
And in terms of the business aspect of it, what were some of the challenges that you found, if there were any, that you had to work through and continue to build your business? You talked about growing your Instagram platform and how you kind of try to keep up with the latest trends so people know that you're able, obviously, to do these designs. But did you have any challenges, initially starting out, and how did you overcome them?
Well, I could say my biggest challenge was trying to get my clients. So when I first started off, I did a lot of specials or whatever. So once I get into it and like my clients, I get that flow of clients, I could say it wasn't quite a challenge because my work speaks for me. So word of mouth is very good.
Was there one particular nail design art that you did that stood out with you to today? Like, boy, this nail really worked me hard, but look, I like how it come out. Did you have any moments like that?
I did. I actually featured in the BTC nail competition, and that was really challenging. And up to this day, I still look at the nail and smile and say, I really did that.
Can you give us an idea of what you came up with for the concept?
So it was like I draw like BTC on it, and then I just do some squirrely lines. But if I could recreate it again today, I think I would do a better job.
So that was one of those growing pains.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So for young women who are watching, they may be in the beauty area, but they're not sure where to start, what to do, where to go. What would be your advice to them? Because you told us earlier on, your mom is a nail tech, so I guess you could say you had a guiding light.
Yes.
And having gone through it 12 years now into it, what would be your advice to someone who is trying to figure out, should I go for this? What should I do? Maybe not. What's your advice to them?
It's always something new out there. So my advice would be keep practicing, learn patience, and to better your craft, your work would speak for you.
Thank you so much, Sonovia, for joining us today. And continue to be creative and tap into all the gifts that you have inside you. And we, of course, will be looking to see what designs you come up with next. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, there is so much more to come after the break. Stay with us.
If you would like to be a part of What's Trending, DM us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS.
Like, what you grabbing all these pizzas, boy?
Wait, Marcos, wait. We have a special on all the large one topping pizzas, wait.
Pineapple.
All.
Barbecue.
All. Hey, VAT included, but
I need the $10 special plate. How many of them would you like? 20 in it. Thank you so much, man. $10, that's it. The Marcos got that deal, boy.
Downtown Nassau is coming alive thanks to the Tourism Development Corporation. The streets are cleaner and spaces are being reimagined for everyone to enjoy.
We're inviting Bahamians to help us get involved in entrepreneurship. Come and talk with us as the Tourism Development Corporation and help us to revitalize downtown and create opportunities for Bahamians.
With the revitalization efforts of TDC, it's a downtown you can see, feel, and be a part of.
Global headlines, local buzz, and everything in between. We're here to break down the trends, the stories, and the viral moments that you know you need. This is Trend Tracker, and we're diving in. In global news, the war in Iran escalates into its fifth day with missile and drone strikes hitting the region and disrupting the Strait of Hormuz. Over 1,000 reported dead, and Gulf allies face a growing shortage of defense weapons. Energy prices are spiking and global markets are on edge as tensions threaten to spread. Also, guess who's staying put? Gayle King just renewed her contract with CBS News, putting to rest all the "where's Gayle going" rumors. The CBS Morning co-anchor says she's thrilled that she keeps bringing us the news and maybe even a few surprises from her longtime home. Looks like mornings just got a whole lot brighter. And back here at home, the Prime Minister's national address could be seen as a political mic drop moment. On Tuesday, an independent tribunal ruled that the Grand Bahama Port Authority must make annual payments to the government through 2054. Most of the authority's counterclaims, including control over Freeport's licenses, utilities, and immigration, were rejected. The government now moves to determine the total payout, potentially worth hundreds of millions, marking an historic shift for Grand Bahama and Bahamian oversight. Well, if you're looking for your next binge this month, Trend Tracker has you covered.
They are trying everything they can to cut each other's throats, including mine.
Beauty in the Black is back and drama is turned all the way up. The hit Netflix series Beauty in Black returns with Season 2, Part 2, bringing bigger power moves, shocking twists, and secrets that refuse to stay hidden. If you love glam, grit, and jaw-dropping moments, this is your next binge. It drops March 19th, streaming exclusively on Netflix. So catch up before the spoilers catch you. Well, family movie night for family movie night, we've got you covered. Say hello to Hoppers, Pixar's newest adventure that's hopping its way into theaters this month. It's a story about talking animals, wild adventures, and yes, a little robot beaver thrown into the mix for laughs and chaos. Think heart, humor, and a whole lot of fun for every age. So grab your popcorn, rally the crew, and catch Hoppers in theaters starting March 6th. And that's a wrap on this week's Trend Tracker. From the biggest headlines to the hottest shows and movies, plus stories everyone's talking about, we've got you covered. Stay tuned, stay curious, and we'll see you next time. There's more What's Trending after the break.
and my heart beats so that I can hardly speak. Out together, dancing cheek to cheek.
I'm Jordan, by the way. Tom.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Advancing the tourism sector, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, the Honorable I. Chester Cooper, led discussions for a meeting of major stakeholders in the cruise industry.
First, we must move closer towards a happy medium in creating balance in the sharing of taxation responsibility for all those participating in the economy. Fairness strengthens trust, trust strengthens partnership, and partnership strengthens performance. The Bahamas is more than a port of call. It is a culture, it's a cuisine, it is heritage, it is art, it is music, it is adventure, it is authenticity. And we must work together consistently to ensure that visitors' experiences are continuously enriched. Thirdly, we must encourage cruise passengers to spend more within the destination, not as an obligation, but because the value proposition compels them to do so. When local enterprises become economically viable, the local economy becomes stronger. And when the local economy is stronger, the destination becomes more resilient and more attractive for repeat business. Fourthly, we must provide clarity grounded in research on how we can encourage direct tourism enterprises to create attractions and adventures that invigorate the experiences. Fifth, we must tell our own story. And I have been in active engagement with cruise CEOs to partner to update an economic impact study that we will share publicly. We're committed to responsibly using government resources to make the changes and improvements necessary to sustain and elevate our tourism product. But we cannot do it alone. We need all of you, all of our stakeholders, and we consistently say tourism is indeed everyone's business.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
On Thursday's show, thinking about trying it? Don't press go just yet. Our pharmacist is here to break it down so you know exactly what to expect. Well, thanks for watching. Stay connected with us on Instagram at What's Trending on ZNS. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight. The Northern Edition has a look at stories making news tonight. The nation's leader calls the partial arbitration ruling a decisive victory during a national address. Grand Bahama in focus during the mid-year budget presentation. And the parliamentary officials outlining biometric voter card verification process.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, Prime Minister Philip Davis is defending what he calls a historic and decisive victory for the Bahamas following a high-stakes arbitration battle with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. In a national address Tuesday night, the nation's leader pushed back against claims from the Port Authority that it too emerged victorious. Our Shalia Roll joins us live with the latest. Shalia.
Ramiko, the Prime Minister addressing the nation on Tuesday following the Grand Bahama Port Authority press release on the ruling of the arbitration between the government and the port. Both entities calling it a win, with the nation's chief detailing exactly why the tribunal's decision is an historic victory for the country.
I prefer collaboration, but I have never feared confrontation, when that's what is necessary to stand up for our people. We are the first government to take such an action, and we wanted our legal claim to deliver a warning.
The dispute stemming from a claim first formally advanced by the government in 2024, when it sought approximately $357 million in reimbursement. At the time, the Davis administration argued that taxpayers had been unfairly carrying financial obligations that under the Hawkesbury Creek Agreement should have been the responsibility of the Port Authority. Government officials contended that over the years, millions of dollars were expended on infrastructure, regulatory oversight, and other services within the port area that should have been funded through payments by the port. That $357 million figure represented what the government calculated as outstanding sums and related financial responsibilities dating back several years. In the national address, Prime Minister Davis said the Arbitration Tribunal ruled that the Port Authority is liable to make annual payments to the government.
The tribunal ruled that the Grand Bahama Port Authority has an obligation to make annual payments to the government and the people of the Bahamas for the remainder of the entire Hawkesbury Creek Agreement until 2054. That means the Port Authority can't just collect license fees, they have to live up to their responsibilities too.
The Prime Minister also stating that the Grand Bahama Port Authority brought several claims to the table, arguing that the government should not be involved in several key areas of the City of Freeport's affairs. But the tribunal rejected majority of those claims, while adding that Freeport is a part of the Bahamas, therefore it is subjected to Bahamian law.
They argued that the Port Authority, instead of the government elected by the people, should control business licenses for non-Bahamians, immigration, customs, utilities like electricity, and foreign land purchases, and environmental and development approvals. They even said they should be awarded $1 billion of your tax dollars.
And here's what the nation leader says is important.
We went to arbitration because we refused to accept that our people should keep paying the bills while others reap the benefits. Many people told us we would never win. We were told to back down, but we did win, not with noise or threats, but with the evidence and a seriousness of purpose that match what is at stake.
Naramiko, the Prime Minister, strongly noting that there is no honor in hoping the country loses a battle like this one for political points. He says that the arbitration ruling clearly indicates that the government has a say in the affairs of Freeport, and the government will do everything in its power to ensure that this island succeeds. Coming to you live in studio for the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Roll. Back to you.
Thanks, Shalia. Well, meantime, the nation's leader presenting the mid-year fiscal update in the House of Assembly this morning, highlighting progress through expanding opportunities and strengthening the nation's economy. Jolanda Thompson-Everest has this story.
Preliminary revenue collections are up, VAT compliance is improving, and strategic investments continue to drive growth across the island. In Grand Bahama, residents are seeing tangible results, including upgrades to public health care and improvements in energy infrastructure. Addressing the mid-year budget in the House of Assembly this morning, the Prime Minister said the fiscal plan is guided by key priorities: strengthening infrastructure, easing the cost of living, and investing in education.
So today, I'll report on the fiscal facts, and I will also speak about the context in which those facts exist and the impact that is being felt by the Bahamian people.
Building on those gains, the Prime Minister outlined the numbers behind the progress. Preliminary revenue collections for the first 6 months are estimated at $1.5 billion, 6.6% above the budget target. VAT collections accounted for 54.9% of total tax revenue, totaling $739.1 million. PM Davis says the increase reflects a stronger compliance and improved tax administration. And beginning in April, the government will reduce VAT on unprepared food from 5% to full exemption.
The steady flow of VAT reductions reflects our commitment to the Bahamian people that where fiscal space allows, relief will follow.
And beyond the revenue gains, Davis pointed to what he says are real improvements in people's daily lives. Between November 2024 and January 2025, 2,811 previously disconnected households in New Providence and the Family Islands were reconnected. The Prime Minister said lower electricity bills matter, but reliability matters just as much. He also highlighted the government's acquisition of the Grand Bahama Power Company, calling it a major step toward stabilizing energy supply on that island.
The planned acquisition of the Grand Bahama Power Company represents a commitment to the people of that island that they will no longer be subject to an energy arrangement that has failed to serve them. No island will be left behind in this new energy era.
Now, the Prime Minister also addressing the public healthcare system, saying that the government has laid the groundwork for significant progress, including the development of a new state-of-the-art hospital in Grand Bahama. Meanwhile, Davis contends that this year's fiscal report reflects meaningful progress on key priorities and underscores the government's focus on creating opportunities and improving lives across the country. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Jolanda Thompson, Everest.
Well, the Minister of Labor and Public Service making her contribution to the mid-year budget debate today, reporting that the government remains largely on track with no major adjustments required at this time. She added that the administration's vision for progress is creating opportunities across every island in the country. Addressing the value-added tax amendment bill, the minister explained how newly implemented items will impact Bahamian households through a tariff-coded schedule.
Bahamians will no longer pay VAT on beef, pork, lamb, poultry, chicken breast, no VAT on chicken wings, leg quarters, no VAT on seafood, milk, yogurt, butter, cheese, eggs, no VAT on potatoes, tomatoes, onions, garlic, cabbage, no VAT on broccoli, lettuce, any vegetables, as well as fruits, rice, other grains, flour, pasta, cereals, bread, cooking oils, canned goods, and even the tea and coffee we drink every morning. It's all covered.
The minister also pointing to exemptions that will apply at both the import and retail levels, ensuring that relief extends across the entire supply chain.
So when a food store imports qualifying goods, no VAT is charged at the port. When they sell those goods unprepared, no VAT is charged at the register or at the counter. The tax is lifted at every stage of the journey, from ship to shelf. That structural choice matters because it removes the incentive for retailers to quietly absorb the VAT as a cost and pass it on anyway. It encourages the relief to flow through to consumers, which is the true measure of success for this policy.
Well, officials say the biometric voter card verification process is designed to be quick, secure, and transparent, with voter consent at the center of every step. As the March 5th rollout approaches in the 8 Mile Rock community, the Parliamentary Registration Department is encouraging residents to take advantage of the opportunity to verify early and ensure their information is up to date ahead of the 2026 general election. Shalia Rowe reports.
Presenting a government-issued passport and voter's card, confirming or updating your home address, along with updating your phone number and email address are all part of the verification process for the new biometric voters cards. Once you consent to having your information accessed and transferred, officials say the entire procedure takes as little as 5 minutes. Grand Bahama Computer Unit Supervisor at the Parliamentary Registration Department, Katura Monroe, explains that the first phase of verification is straightforward, while the second involves securely transferring information from an e-passport to the department system, but only with the voter's consent.
Once persons would have verified, the voters would have verified, they are given the option at the moment to apply for the biometric new voter's card. And persons who hold the new AA passport would have already captured their fingerprints and facial records. They are Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and they are giving the option to apply now.
While many voters were initially hesitant about the new biometric voters cards, Monroe says attitudes are shifting, noting that as the country moves closer to the 2026 general election, there has been a noticeable increase in residents coming forward to verify with the new system.
Initially, it was a very slow process, but I think with the news of the cards that are coming on stream and ready for distribution, we have an influx of registrants coming in and applying for the biometric card.
The supervisor for the Grand Bahama Computer Unit at the Parliamentary Registration Department says safety is the top priority as the department rolls out its new biometric voters cards. She explains that voter integrity is protected through detailed verification measures, including passport information and precise home address confirmation, all aimed at ensuring that each registered voter is legitimate and properly documented.
With the on-stream of this biometric card, it was prompted for the safety and security of all registered voters. And we are now attaching individuals to their passport information and pinning individuals. So it is an increase in the safety for the voters and our registration process.
If you are a verified voter, don't be surprised if you receive a call from the Parliamentary Registration Department, as they are doing a biometric voters card rollout on Thursday, March 5th, 2026 in the 8 Mile Rock community. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Shalia Rule.
And still to come.
The Grand Bahama Christian Council is preparing for a new chapter in its leadership. Stay tuned for that story, sports, and more when we come back.
There are some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, Junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison. Princess Court Mentoring Ministries presents its 2026 mentoring program at Central Zion Baptist Church, 8 Mile Rock. Girls ages 5 to 18 are invited to experience this life-changing journey March 7th through the 29th. Transportation is available from Burger King downtown. Call 351-8311 for more information.
At Save More Drugs, we got you. We got what you want. We got what you need. We got what you came for. The quality you expect. The prices you need and deserve. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Faith National Church of God presents the Leadership, Relationship, and Fellowship Conference March 13th through the 15th, featuring Pastor Rico Sharp. Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 10:40 a.m. Call 813-1362 for details.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The Grand Bahama Christian Council is preparing for a new chapter in its leadership as the new executive team takes shape. Members say their focus is not only on strengthening the church community, but also expanding their impact across the island.
First, we hope to expand the council to include more churches. Secondly, we intend to strengthen the fellowship with other church members. Thirdly, we intend to position ourselves to address the issues impacting our people. Finally, we intend to establish a permanent home for the council, and in doing so, provide a temporary shelter for battered women and those who have been displaced, and to the best of our ability, respond to the needs of this community.
Well, as those plans take shape, church leaders are also inviting the community to take part in a special service marking the installation of the council's executive team.
Duty this morning is to invite the entire Grand Bahama community from East End to West End to our installation service of the Grand Bahama Christian Council executive members, which will be held on Sunday, March 15th at 4 p.m. at Central Church of God on Coral Road. Our speaker for that afternoon will be Pastor Robert Lockhart, and our praise and worship will be led by Pastor Fred Lang and his praise team from East Grand Bahama.
Well, some foundations are not just tested by time, but also by storms. In tonight's segment of Defying the Odds, our Sherelle Dame shares the story of a legacy rocked by a monster storm, yet stood firm in a faith that refused to wash away.
Built on a foundation of faith since the 1900s, St. Matthew's Baptist Church has long stood as the heartbeat of Pelican Point, a place where generations gathered, worshipped, and grew together. Then came a storm that tested not just a building, but a legacy. Pastor Freddie Lang shares the story.
I do see things in the prophetic, but I did not see a monster named Dorian coming through in 2019 that would nearly wipe out Pelican Point and East Grand Bahama at large. The roof was down. The walls broken in. It was just all gone. Just for a brief moment, I had to breathe in and breathe out. And I remember someone saying to me, because they could tell that I was, for that moment, an emotional wreck. And they said to me, hey, Pastor, this is God's house. God will rebuild. I was afforded the opportunity to go to Louisiana to advocate for funding as well as help in terms of manpower. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. And then after which, the Lord just made a way. Funding just started coming in.
But even with support coming in, the real strength of St. Matthew's was never found in wood or walls. It was found in its people.
Many of our people lost literally everything. Everything. And some to this day, it's about 2 houses that still has yet to rebuild. But however, we came out. We worship in a tent. We worship from cars during COVID. We worshiped in our small church hall when this building was unable for us to assemble in. We stuck together. It speaks volume of our people from the community of Pelican Point. We never give up, and they are still fighting today.
For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Sherelle Dames.
Facebook friend of the night, Antoine Wallace, thank you so much for your support, and we hope that you enjoyed your day. Well, I said that right. That's the Liquor Stories making news. What's happening in Sports, Shane?
Well, the Drive Few Regionals take place tomorrow morning. You guys do not want to miss it.
All right, that's coming your way next. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after this break.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
Save more drugs, from cosmetics to prosthetics. What you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, vitamins you need, and prescriptions you came for. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
Hello. What time is the flight?
No one asked us to go. Hello? Into the storm. Into the chaos. To witness devastation. No one asked us to go.
Are you ready?
Because it's the story that drives us forward. The
that brings truth to light, that connects us all. This is why we go.
Breaking news out of Grand Bahama. Our Raven Davis has been covering this story all day and joins us live now with the latest. Raven, what can you tell us?
Yes, Rumiko, I had a chance to speak to many of the residents, and many of them are concerned about...
Welcome to the ZNS Total Sports Cave. I'm Shane Stubbs. Get your popcorn ready because the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture's inaugural Northern Bahamas Regional Track and Field Championships kicks off this Thursday morning at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex.
We have teams that will be coming in to join the Grand Bahamian schools. We'll have teams from Abaco. Also, we have schools from Bimini that will be here to be a part of this first ever regional here in the north, the Lucayan region.
With spots at nationals on the line, organizers say you can expect some very close races.
The top 2 go, and then the next 32 top times will be in distances will be allowed to participate in this year's nationals that are scheduled for New Providence.
I think it's transformational. The idea is a good idea. It's in its infancy stage. I mean, we can only expand upon it, and we're going to look forward to some good cane competition.
This regionals give us an opportunity to see more talent, to see what we really have out there, and I look forward to being here to witness it myself, to make sure, hey, this did happen.
Thursday's schedule kicks off with the under-15 girls and boys 1,500-meter finals, followed by the 400 and 100-meter heats. The finals of both events kick off at 3 p.m. The mixed 4x4 finals is expected to bring an exciting close to day one. Next up, it was an action-packed week 2 of the Shockwave Elite Flag Football League. For the juniors, the Baby Warhawks were too much for the Straw Hat Pirates, coasting to an 11-0 W. The Thunder stunned the Vikings in their tracks, rolling to a 22-8 victory, and the Blue Marlins led wire-to-wire over Up and Adam, ultimately getting the W, 35-12. On the senior side, the Buccaneers and Green Machine was a close one to call, but the Bucks would prevail with a 27-22 triumph. The Mako Sharks preyed on the Grizzlies with a final score of 28-6, and the Honey Badgers got the W over Hunters 12-6. Wrapping things up, junior boys action in the Derek Nesbitt Obie Wilshcombe High School Basketball League. The Tabernacle Falcons rounding in the playoff form. They acquired the BMES Warriors 36-16, and the Sunland Stingers dimmed the jockey with Junior Stars 36-20. And that's your sports fix for this evening. Your local forecast is next. I'm Shane Stubbs. Catch you all on The Rebound.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Save more drugs. We got you. From cosmetics to prosthetics, what you need for your family, the brands you're looking for, the quality you expect, the prices you need and deserve. Feel the love. Save more at Save More Drugs.
From the onset, let's just confess that Grand Bahama is a big deal. We are on the move, and the progress made is undeniable. So let's give it up to Grand Bahama. So as we look ahead, Grand Bahama's growth strategy is guided by resilience, inclusivity, and sustainability. Our development model must absorb shocks, adapt, and recover. This means smarter infrastructure, diversified income, and forward planning. Investments must translate into opportunities for Bahamians, not just through jobs, but advancement opportunities on those jobs, training, spin-off entrepreneurial opportunities, and community development through corporate social responsibility.
My commitment to you is that this administration will keep choosing the path that brings the back of all of old corporatocracy and build something stronger in its place with energy reform, backed by real capital, with infrastructure that matches your ambition, and with Grand Bahamians, not outsiders, at the center of the story. The next time a 22-year-old Bahamian arrives in Grand Bahama with a suitcase and a dream, I want them to see what I saw in 1974, a place where the future is being built.
Number one team in the north. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that is going to do it for us here in the north. I'm Rico Knowles.
I'm Shane Slopes.
Thanks so much for watching. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight, coming your way next.
Government seeking to make a case for how it's made progress managing the economy 6 months into the fiscal year. Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Philip Davis, pointed to strengthened revenue, carefully managed expenditure, a steady decline in the overall debt burden, and projected budget surplus as proof. Be sure to tune in to the Bahamas tonight at 7.
What you see on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcasted by this television station. The code is available on IRCA's website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
You're still here?
But of course you are. But be sure to tune in every weekday at 7:30 p.m. for the Bahamas Tonight Access Now,
where we bring you the brighter side of news.
Join us for the Bahamas Tonight
Access Now, weeknights at 7:30 p.m.
At the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
Up in the Bahamas tonight, the Minister of Finance sharing the technical details of the country's fiscal performance, its economic and policy track record, and its impact on Bahamians as debate on the mid-year budget opens. Plus, 139-page arbitration ruling between the government and the GBPA tabled in the House of Assembly. And boots hit the ground as top-ranking police officers patrol an inner-city area, lending an ear to residents' concerns. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. The country's finances placed under the microscope, with the Prime Minister providing more details of its performance midway through the current fiscal year, all the while laying the foundation for fierce debate in the coming days. In this report, our Fern Carey takes a look at the Davis administration's key priorities. Take a listen. In a detailed review of the government's fiscal performance for the first 6 months of the 2025-2026 budget year, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, said the government's revenue continues to strengthen, the domestic economy is experiencing sustained growth, and public expenditure is being carefully managed. Prime Minister Davis also provided more insight on government arrears and unpaid invoices, which he said are largely driven by obligations to state-owned enterprises.
When obligations to public corporations are excluded, the yearly increase in outstanding balances at the end of December 25 would have approximate 29 million. To put this into perspective, total commitments, including SOEs, reached 6.3% of the total expenditure budget in the financial year 2025-2026, compared to 3.4% in 2024-2025, a period when most SOEs recorded zero unpaid invoices. Excluding the SOEs, however, commitments remain low at just 3.7% of the total expenditure budget, up from 3.1% in the financial year 2024-2025.
Government revenue also increased, standing at $1.5 billion, reflecting a $66.6 million increase over the same period last year. Preliminary aggregate expenditure also increased, and the deficit widened.
The government experienced a net deficit of $342.4 million, which represented a decrease of $25.3 million relative to the previous comparable period. However, the primary balance improved significantly to a $3.1 million deficit in the first half of this fiscal year, compared to $32.3 million deficit for the first half of 2024-2025.
The Minister of Finance also cited the U.S.-Israel-Iran war, which is impacting the global economy and driving up fuel and oil prices. However, the Prime Minister assured,
thankfully, we have measures in place to protect us during times of volatility. The electricity bills will not be felt due to this conflict in the short and medium term.
Prime Minister Davis noted that there are also targeted measures to reduce the tax burden on residents, including the elimination of value-added tax on unprepared foods come April 1st. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey. Well, meantime, Opposition Leader Michael Pintard wasting no time hitting at the government over its fiscal policies. Mr. Pintard skeptical about the administration's forecast that its deficit is decreasing and its expectations of meeting all its projections. The opposition leader charges that the government's optimism is based on tall tales.
Madam Speaker, when invoices sit unpaid, expenses appear lower. And that's deliberate, Madam Speaker. When obligations are delayed, the deficit appears smaller. And that's deliberate, Madam Speaker. When vendors are forced to wait, the books look cleaner, Madam Speaker. And we believe that's intentional.
Well, meantime, the government's not letting up on its position that it has emerged victorious from that independent tribunal to settle its dispute with the Grand Bahama Port Authority. The Prime Minister went a step further in the lower chamber today, tabling the full ruling for the public to judge for itself. Corvell Pyfrom joins us now with more. Corvell?
And Makushla, the Prime Minister today apparently still seemed to be seething from the Port Authority jumping ahead and claiming victory in that landmark independent arbitration tribunal, which sought to settle this long-standing power struggle between the government and the GBPA. He chose Wednesday to lay the facts, or in this case, all 139 pages of the tribunal's partial ruling on the table of the House of Assembly.
We're not going to give one page that doesn't really reflect the reward. We're going to give the whole award so that the Bahamian people could see what the tribunal had to say.
Both sides claiming victory in one way or another. The GBPA elated the government's claim for $357 million in reimbursement was tossed out. That body also rejecting 7 of 8 of the port's counterclaims, including its bid to be awarded $1 billion in damages. The tribunal ruling siding with the port that the government had failed to give timely consideration to several sets of environmental bylaws proposed back in 2006. The government taking its own victory lap, Mr. Davis calling the ruling a game changer.
The Port Authority has significant liabilities that are now enforceable because we took action.
The tribunal affirmed the government has authority over the Port Authority when it comes to licensing, immigration, customs, utilities, land purchases, environmental approvals, and investment projects in the port area.
The tribunal rejected the Port Authority's claims.
Mr. Davis addressing the matter in Parliament just hours after he spoke to the nation Tuesday night, where he issued a stern warning to the GBPA and took aim at those he accuses of rooting against the government.
This old arrangement must bend toward fairness, or it will break under the weight of its own injustice. There's no honor in hoping your country loses so you can score political points.
The ruling now means that the government can receive yearly payments from the port. How much that will be and how soon that will happen, Mr. Davis says, will be determined in the next phase of arbitration. Makushla?
Well, thanks, Corbell. Now, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard is tonight denouncing the Davis administration's claim of a win against the Grand Bahama Port Authority over some $357 million the government owed as absolute nonsense. Speaking to reporters Wednesday, Pintard criticized that the government must refocus on critical areas impacting the lives of Grand Bahamians and find a constructive way to engage with the GBPA that is itself not doing enough. Further, he calls on the Prime Minister to disclose how much the arbitration cost the public.
We have always said that the government's fight with the Port Authority has been a sideshow that's not constructive in the way it was approached. And as far as we know, the claim the government submitted has been dismissed. So everything else about the arbitration pretty much is blah, 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 blah.
Also making news tonight, Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson's dismissing the notion there's a growing sense of voter apathy among young Bahamians ahead of the general election. Thompson telling our news team numbers coming into his department prove otherwise.
We have a lot of young people who are registering to vote, and that's why our numbers have increased and continue to increase. In terms, every day we have new registrants who are registering to vote, and they're basically the young people. So in the Bahamas, I don't know if we really have that problem here. Maybe some of they're talking, but there are 198 plus persons on the register. It is indicative that young people are registering to vote.
Coming up, the Bahamas joins in assisting Cuba's efforts. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. That and more in a moment.
Some things that are undeniably Bahamian. A good count salad, Junkanoo, the way we worship, the way we take care of one another, all undeniably Bahamian. And right in the midst of our iconic things, places, and people is Commonwealth Bank. Increasing access, sponsoring dreams, working alongside Bahamians to increase the quality of their lives for more than 60 years. Commonwealth Bank, nothing more than being Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
I just found out that KFC has an irresistible promo.
Crunch into the juicy flavor of the new KFC Wrap Star. A classic made modern that's crunchy, melty, and grilled to perfection for all the journeys of your day. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
This is the inaugural edition of The Movement, your energy and transport briefing, bringing you updates directly from the Ministry of Energy and Transport. Welcome to The Movement, live from the National Energy Summit. We begin with Energy in Motion, an inside look at the National Energy Summit 2025, where leaders, students, and stakeholders all gathered to accelerate the Bahamas' energy transition. Guided by the theme, Shaping a Sustainable Energy Future Through People, Power, and Partnerships, this summit stands as the signature annual event for the Ministry of Energy and Transport.
As the Minister of Energy and Transport, my vision of a sustainable energy future is driven by three conditions: reliability and security, affordability, and low carbon.
Across 2 impactful days, innovation, discussion, and collaboration filled every room.
Let's use the summit to deepen our understanding of where we stand. These are the first steps in a process that will benefit Bahamians for generations.
The Minister of Energy and Transport recorded key milestones: 488 steel poles replaced, over 9,000 feet of underground cable installed, power outages reduced by 86% on New Providence, and across the Bahamas, more than 18 new power stations are being developed, introducing solar, LNG, and energy storage systems.
Whether you live in Bimini or Nagua, the Ministry of Energy and Transport is dedicated to ensuring reliable, affordable, sustainable, and low-carbon electricity for everyone.
I'm Larissa Lundy, and this is The Movement, your energy and transport briefing. Stay with us.
You're looking at a shot there of a cruise ship leaving the Nassau harbor, and that shot courtesy of our drone pilot, Shane Gibson. Welcome back. The Prime Minister recently confirming that the Bahamas is part of a regional effort to assist Cuba with humanitarian support within a month. And that's amid that island's fuel crisis, only worsened by the U.S. ouster of Cuba's top ally, Nicolas Maduro of Venezuela. Maduro supplied about half of Cuba's fuel, the island now struggling with limited oil reserves.
Between all Caribbean countries, and we'll do our part to bring some humanitarian relief to the people of Cuba.
In other news, leaders in financial services from the United States and the region are here in the Bahamas attending a global financial summit. Up for discussion, key issues impacting the Caribbean. Fern Carey is on the story.
Building economic resilience here in the Bahamas and across the region, especially in the face of the U.S.-Israel war with Iran, among the issues featuring prominently at the Global Financial Summit. Key financial experts included former president of the Federal Bank of Richmond, Dr. Jeffrey Lacker. He provided more insight on the global economic order, fintech, and digital currencies. Dr. Lacker also focused on building resilience and depth in the marketplace.
If market participants think this is a market where the price is going to be pushed around by some discretionary Fed intervention, that they're not going to be as willing to make markets. But if it's a market where all the market participants are the typical private sector investor, that's something they can wrap the mind around. That's something they can get a handle on when people are going to go in and out of the market, and that's something where they're going to be willing to invest in, putting together a team, a little desk to trade treasuries, devote some capital to it, be prepared to hold a little inventory to buy and sell, take advantage of market dips and the like.
Economic Affairs Minister, Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitas, told attendees that the Bahamas is positioning itself to take advantage of the opportunities that will accrue in the rapidly evolving global economic landscape.
The Central Bank of the Bahamas' latest economic review indicates growth momentum has remained positive, underpinned by tourism strength, foreign investment projects, and improving employment indicators. So in short, ladies and gentlemen, the Bahamas is on the rise. International markets have taken note of this progress, and credit rating agencies recognizing our fiscal discipline, economic recovery, and structural reforms have improved their outlook on the Bahamas.
The economic minister assures that efforts are underway to mitigate any potential fallout from the U.S.-Iran war in the country.
That is why it's so important for us to continue to concentrate on things like diversifying our energy, using more renewable energy, paying attention to food security, producing more of what we eat, and improving our fiscal situations.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Fern Carey.
Well, a number of subcontractors are benefiting from that $100 million road improvement project on the island of Eleuthera. And one of them, Elton Simonet, president of Quick Fix Construction, and his team are creating a base layer, preparing the road for its final installation.
Bahama Striping, they looked at us, they come, they use people on the island to do the work, the sub base, and which we are really appreciative of it, doing a base on the island. So, everything is going well. We have a good relationship with Bahama Striping, with them, with the management team here on the ground. It's a good relationship. I took out 6 inches of fill, took that away, and then we brought in some new material, fill. Base to put down, and we're about 80% now finished of rock sand.
Well, Quaco Street residents got a visit from the police today, and high-ranking officers at that, but not in response to crime, but an effort to prevent it. Officers were out on foot going door to door, engaging residents as part of a policing initiative aimed at strengthening community trust. And the goal, they say, is not just visibility. According to Police Commissioner Shanton Knowles, efforts like these are about maintaining a safe environment, opening lines of communication, and ensuring residents feel comfortable speaking directly with officers before issues arise. Initiatives like today's are expected to continue in other neighborhoods across the capital.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Folk Call Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
Or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Wait, what are you grabbing all these pizzas, boy?
Wait, Marcos, wait. We have a special on all the large 1 topping pizzas, wait.
Pineapple.
All.
Barbecue.
All. Hey, VAT included, but.
I need the $10 special plate. How many would you like? 20 in it. Thank you so much, man. $10, that's it. The Marcos got that deal, boy.
Throughout our lifetime, we must all make decisions. No matter how we choose, the right one just needs to be made. Like having J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers as your insurance partner. We've been serving the Bahamas for over 100 years. Whether you need home, motor, marine, or commercial insurance, make the right decision. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
JS Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station. Open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Well, Bible Truth Ministries officially launching a year-long celebration marking its upcoming 25th anniversary. Our West Alex Forbes has the story.
Bible Truth Ministries has evolved over the years. The church has expanded not only its membership, but also in its activities and outreach. Senior Pastor Ellison Greenslade is elated and grateful to God for the church's remarkable growth, explaining the need for a year-long celebration.
Other ministries may have had help from other headquarters, other denominations have their headquarters in different places. For us, the only thing we got is God. Everything we got is because of God, and God's been that good. He deserved more than just a day of celebration. He deserved the entire year of our celebration.
The pastor says from humble beginnings in 2002 with just 12 members to worshiping at Fire Trail and now standing firm in its current location on Martin's Close off Cowpen Road and mortgage-free. The journey has been nothing short of divine.
We were able to come here from 2018, celebrating God in this manner again. No mortgage whatsoever from no bank. God's been too good, too kind for us not to celebrate Him. and we share this whole blessings of the Lord with the entire community. We charge no one for use of our facilities.
It's a testimony not just of a building, but of building lives. Youth Minister Edward Thirsting refers to himself as a living example of what happens when one fully commits to serving.
Personally, the more I give, I see God return it through promotions, higher pay, everything, man. Family. Before I joined the ministry, I didn't even have kids. Me and my wife was together for a few years, no kids. Started to be more active in the church. 1 child, 2 child, it stopped right there, no more. 2 is enough. But God is being so good, man. And the ministry, so much great direction from our leaders and every member, man, just guiding us. Any helping hand we need, they are there to support us. They want to see the youth thrive, and hopefully we can live up to their expectations. Come as you are. God isn't asking for perfection. None of us are perfect. I have my flaws, we all have our flaws, but you have to start somewhere. Come, be a part of the ministry, be a part of church, give yourself to God, and watch him open up so many doors, man. That's my testimony.
The celebrations by Bible Truth Ministries won't be Nassau-centric, as the church is working on spreading the gospel and goodness of God throughout the Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes, Calix Forbes.
Well, a truly inspiring story there, Wes. Now, about as good a time as any, though, to toss it over to Royston Marlena for a check-in on what's coming up in Access Now. Guys.
Good evening. Good evening on this Wednesday, Makushla. Of course, as part of International Women's Week, an incredible steward of women's advocacy is being celebrated tonight. And the back-to-back winners of Junkanoo for this year are still continuing their celebrations. I think I can hear the horns and the cowbells from here.
I hear it.
We're also going to be talking about that tonight, too.
And then if you're a woman in business watching from home and you're trying to find maybe where you're going to get that latest infusion of cash, we're going to tell you all about an initiative that has up to $75,000 worth of grant money available. That's going to be our guest tonight, so you might want to stay with us. See?
Well, we're celebrating women all week long. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report continues after this.
Introducing Valvoline Restore and Protect, a first-of-its-kind innovation that returns pistons to factory clean, removing up to 100% of deposits, restoring your engine to perform like new. All new Restore and Protect, another first by Valvoline, distributed by Battery and Tire Specialists.
Whether you need life insurance, an endowment plan, or health insurance, BAF has you for all stages of your life.
We're training for the bounce back. That's 150K payday. You all ready? You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace, not too much water. Put that parlay in, put that in. You know, Jalen Bronson disappointed us last time. You spin, right? Yeah, it don't look so. It's 10K.
It's the Bounce Back 150K Payday. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
Oh, you're still here?
But of course you are. But be sure to tune in every weekday at 7:30 p.m. for the Bahamas Tonight Access Now,
Where we bring you the brighter side of news.
Join us for the Bahamas Tonight
Access Now, weeknights at 7:30 p.m.
With our adoption by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
We figured that we could use the First Bahamas branch of Toastmasters Club 1600, an all-male club that specializes and focuses on developing young men for leadership through communication.
This program has grown and has impacted our school in such a positive way that I don't think we'll ever have them leave us.
Too often, instead of us looking within, we look outside for someone to blame. Go take a look in the mirror. Instead of trying to identify what the problems are, let's try and figure out how we become a part of the solution.
We are teaching these children how to dream beyond their community.
Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
And that does it for the National Report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight continues with Access Now.
I am a master plumber by profession. I've been doing plumbing for over 40-odd years. When I was 9 months old, I was diagnosed with polio. To me, living with polio, I took it the way it is. I never allowed my polio to get in my way of anything. In fact, I love when people doubt me, and I just prove them wrong. And let me tell you, in the world, you could only find a plumber as good as me, but you ain't gonna find no plumber better than me. People with disability, they just need a chance. In this program, I feel so encouraged. Most of the mentors have different kinds of disability, but disabilities like me. Sharing and caring and showing so much support with people with disability. They would encourage you to go beyond. I wish this was around a long time ago. Right now, I would have been a millionaire. You out there who have a disability, don't be afraid. Take the step. If you believe it, you could achieve it. And remember one thing, ain't no one better than me, and ain't no one better than y'all. God made all us equal.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
At the Bahamas Business Investment Forum for 2026, Director General of the Ministry of Tourism, Latia Duncombe, and Bahamian Ambassador to the U.S., His Excellency Wendell Jones, gave us a look at the place where enterprise meets the tourism sector.
Yes, we're here at the Bahamas Business and Investment Forum, and events like this are very important. It highlights the strength of the Bahamas as a destination, key industries. It provides updates on what we're doing. It shows our strong regulatory framework and the strength of our industry. I presented today on tourism from a 16-island destination perspective, highlighting and showing that the benefits that we have to offer, our sheer makeup, the diversity of our islands, are exactly what the travel trends are indicating. So right now it's a perfect blend. It opens up opportunities for Bahamian entrepreneurs also to partner with international investors. So from a foreign direct investment perspective, it's perfect. We're very happy to be a part of it and also to partner and highlight the strength, the resilience, and what's on the horizon from a tourism perspective.
It is something that must be done so that we represent every single Bahamian and give them an opportunity to grow, to thrive. And so we placed the focus initially on tourism and, of course, financial services. In New York, we broadened it. In Palm Beach, we also looking at the fintech industry, digital finance. And so in this forum in Palm Beach, you would hear a whole lot of people talking about AI, digital finance, and all of these technological things that young people are involved in to give them the opportunity to grow and to develop that industry.
For more tourism updates, visit Tourism Today or Bahamas.com. I'm Michael Miller, and this is Tourism Today.
For her exceptional contributions and unwavering community service, Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson is honored with a prestigious award.
Plus, it's World Engineering Day, and we're putting the spotlight on one Bahamian making waves in the field. We've got those details straight ahead.
Also, Junkanoo celebrate their win at Victory Fest, and it's a smashing good time.
And in sports, it's day one of the GSSA Track and Field Championships.
Tonight, Access Now starts now.
Good evening on this Hump Day Wednesday. I'm Royston Jones.
And I'm Marlena Leonard. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, Access Now.
Welcome indeed. Now, there's an old saying that the week moves in rhythms, a sort of ebb and flow. Monday's the beat, Tuesday's the tempo, and then Wednesday is finally finding the right groove.
Makes sense. And then once you find it, things tend to kind of level out, whether it's work, school, or just keeping up with everything happening around us. And even if you haven't quite found that groove yet or hit a few off notes along the way, there's still time to regroup, reset the tempo, and get back in sync.
Nicely put. And with the rhythm set, there's plenty to get into tonight. And of course, still time to finish the week on a high note, maybe even a C8 for those music enthusiasts. For now, let's dive right into the news. The Bahamas continuing to make its presence felt days before International Women's Day, and as the head of the Crisis Center received a top award from the British High Commissioner for her extensive volunteer work in advocating for survivors of violence and abuse. The special presentation exercise taking place at the Crisis Center today, and our LaDawn Davis has this report.
She's a noted psychologist and human rights activist who lobbied for the rights of battered women and children for decades. And now Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson can add the Points of Light Award to her list of accolades. The award is presented to individuals making positive changes in their communities. Dean Patterson, the fourth Bahamian woman to receive the honor, was presented with a personally signed plaque from Her Majesty the late Queen Elizabeth II. The British High Commissioner, Her Excellency Samita Rossetti, shared why Patterson was chosen as this year's recipient.
A decision was taken, and all those decisions were actually personally approved by Her Majesty to award Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson a Points of Light recognition for all that you do in the community here in the Bahamas, supporting some of the most vulnerable women and children at times when they need it most. Now, this award was agreed a few years ago by Her late Majesty, and then COVID happened, and the original certificate, which was signed by the Queen, didn't get here. We've retrieved it, we've located it, and it is my absolute honor to present this to you. There aren't many of these that were personally signed by the Queen, but I can't think of a more worthy recipient.
While accepting the prestigious award, Dean Patterson revealed that even though she's the face of the Crisis Center, this award would not have been possible without the hard work and dedication of volunteers.
It's a double honor for me to receive it. It may be late, but it's never too late, right? Just receive something with the Queen's signature, right? So thank you so much. Let me just say that I may be the face of the Crisis Center, but the work of the Crisis Center is done by our volunteers. And our volunteers do all sorts of things. They answer the hotline, they go to court to support victims of violence, they go to police stations to support victims when they go there.
A humble Dean Patterson says even though she's been advocating for the rights of women and children for 43 years, the work continues. For Access Now, I'm LaDawn Davis.
So well deserved. Thanks so much, LaDawn. Now, a special flag-raising ceremony was held this week as the Department of Local Government celebrates 30 years under the theme Local Voices, National Progress, Stronger Together. At the event, a student from the L.W. Young Junior High School, which recently implemented its own local government junior council program, was named the New Providence Local Government Counselor. The initiative places the students at the forefront of civic engagement, allowing the young minds to experience firsthand the responsibilities of governance at the community level. Minister of Works and Family Island Affairs, the Honorable Clay Sweeting, said preparing the next generation to lead begins with exposure, mentorship, and national pride.
Wise words.
Local government has developed a lot since 1996, and we're seeing significant changes through legislation, through how the islands are managed and run through local government, and local government brings government closer to the people. You know, I started in local government at the age of 21 years old, and over the years ended up becoming a minister in charge of local government. So it helps you to see, you know, not just how government works, but to be a part of an organization and show you how important it is to develop your community.
Now, if you didn't know, today's being celebrated as World Engineering Day, and engineers everywhere are honored for their tireless contributions in addressing climate change, AI applications, and sustainable development. Here at home, the consulting firm Braun is recognizing the work of its principal of coastal and geotechnical Long Island engineer, Kenneth Scott. During his 15 years of service, Scott, who's licensed in the Bahamas and Florida, leads major marine and waterfront projects nationwide. Take, for instance, following Hurricane Dorian, Scott helped lead dune reinforcement efforts in Abaco and supported Rum Cay, Cat Island, and Ackland's government docks redesign and reconstruction after Hurricane Joaquin. Under his leadership, the firm has delivered a tenfold increase in overall marina capacity, demonstrating both technical advancement and the increasing scale of development across the region. Looking ahead, engineer Scott identifies national coastal monitoring and data infrastructure as critical components of long-term resilience.
The victory lap continuing for the 2025 Boxing Day and 2026 New Year's Day Junkanoo champions. One Family, Click, hosting the 6th annual Victory Fest recently to celebrate the group for their stellar performances that brought back home the back-to-back wins. Group members and attendees were treated to a good old Bahamian time with performances from KB, Johnny Kick, Julian Believe, and Shine. But as they celebrated, they also paused to pay a special tribute to Junkanoo legend Bernard Porky Dorset, recognizing his decades of dedication to the culture and to the One Family organization. Former chairman to the One Family, Darren Bastian, describing Porky as the kind of man every organization needs.
When it's time to move these costumes to Main Street, Porky got to be there. When it's time to get a shack constructed, Porky got to be in the middle of that because he has this knack for that kind of thing.
He also had this to say to his group.
Now, to the Warriors. They doubted us, you know, but that's all right. And that's why they get what they get. Blues in the morning. Congratulations, One Family.
Now, Click donated 100% of the gate proceeds to the A category winners, while the B category champs, Colors Entertainment, also received a special donation. And now, still to come, the 3rd annual Fox Foundation Women's Entrepreneurship Initiative is just days away, and we've got all the details. And the one and only Diane Dorset has your Access weather forecast. So stay close.
Follow the savings and head to Super Value and Quality Supermarkets for super specials like Chef Boyardee Spaghetti and Meatballs, 15 ounces, $1.69. American Spice Lemon or Lime Juice, 32 ounces, $1.69. Robin Hood Flour, 5.5 pounds, $5.29. Yellow onions, 3-pound bag, $2.99. Baby back spare ribs, $2.99 per pound. From store to store, no one saves you more than Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home health care supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. At the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Good evening, Marlena and Royston. It's time for your Access weather forecast. It's hump day, which means we're halfway through the week. 2 more days till the weekend, so let's take a look at what's shaping our weather for the next few days.
What? Well, later this month, the Fox Foundation will host the 3rd annual Women Entrepreneurship Initiative Conference Funding and Award, where Bahamian women in business can get their share of a $75,000, that's right, grant initiative. Joining us now to tell us all about the upcoming event is event patron Adriana Fox.
Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight Access Now.
Thank you for having me here.
It's good to have you. Now, of course, please start by telling us about this Women's Entrepreneurship Conference.
Well, first of all, it's our 3rd annual Women Entrepreneurship Initiative.
Yes.
And basically, it's going to be held at Bahama at 7 p.m. The reason why I did this foundation, this initiative, is because I wanted women who, we have so many females who are talented.
Oh, yes.
So many females who don't have the opportunity to get capital, mentorship. I also wanted to do it because I was given the opportunity to lead and start a business, and I wanted to create a pathway for other females.
And pay it forward, yeah.
I also believe that when women succeed, family succeeds, and community succeeds.
Very true.
So this was the reason why I wanted to start it. I wanted to be able to ensure that women in the Bahamas can create business and also shine.
And now, through the past couple of cohorts that you've worked with, what has this taught you about women in business since you've opened up this pathway?
That we could be entrepreneurs and we could be executives. You don't have to always want to be the top. You can be in the C-suite, and that's why I decided to do 2 panels instead of just having 1 panel. I believe that I had both positions. I'm the CEO of Island Luck, and also I'm the vice president of the Fox Group of Companies, and also now the co-shareholder of Island Luck. So I know what it is to be an entrepreneur, and I know what it is to be in executive level.
Yes.
And so I want females to know that if you can start that business, try and get educated to be able to be an executive and shine in those levels.
Have the skill set.
Access more opportunities. I want you to talk about the grad portion. We understand there are over 280 applications already?
Yes, last year we had 176 persons that signed up.
Wow.
This year we had an overwhelming of 280 persons, and I was so shocked. They are last minute, like females. We are always last minute. I think in one day I got 80 applicants.
Wow.
And that showed me that there is a need, there's a necessity for more help. I'm trying to do it with the Fox Foundation. It's only $75,000. The first grand prize is $30,000. Then the second prize is $25,000, and then it's $20,000. But that's only 3 persons.
That's 3 people.
To 280 applicants.
Right.
And
Tough choice, yeah.
I even trying to figure out next year how I'm going to make it better, where I could touch more than just 3 persons, maybe split it up, or if somebody wants to support the foundation initiative, because it's fully funded by the Fox Foundation. And I do think we have a lot of other corporate sponsors out there who believe in females. Support the initiative, because I do think it will go a long way. And I want it to be not just in Nassau. We have Freeport, we have Eleuthera.
So important.
I've seen so many applicants from Andres, so it's so
really
difficult.
The businesses exist, yeah. So it's important to be moving toward it,
They're not part of it or can't get access to it.
Like, we're working our way toward.
I had some winners last year from Freeport, and like I said, I gave $2,000 to 7 persons. So even though I had my grand prize, because the top 10
and
was
that's,
still
that
good.
can still be life-changing.
Yes.
You never know, that might be the one thing that means I can get the car that's going to make my delivery business viable.
Yes.
Now, what kind of businesses do you see women applying with?
A lot of, this year was a lot of medical. Very impressed with the applicants with the medical field, because I know when sometime I'm sick, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to go to a clinic. But the ideas that they have are so amazing. Even a mobile veterinarian.
Those are needed, yeah.
It's so many new ideas and niche ideas. I saw this lady, she has a plantain chip, and she was saying, let's create it with the goat pepper. And
okay, I'm listening.
I love it.
Whoever you are, talk to us. Come talk to us.
You have an audience.
Yeah, so I do think this year they are being very creative, very innovative. You could tell they are using AI to even help them with their business plan, in which I would always say, hey, use the technology and the tools that we have out there. So the ideas, I'm going through the applicants now. It's not an easy process, because
so many good ones.
There's so many applicants you want to say yes, yes, yes. So me and my team will have to make a decision to the top 10.
That's a tough choice. Now, we also understand that they have a Zuckerberg who's coming in attendance, Randy Zuckerberg.
Yes.
Created Facebook Live.
Yes.
Massive. What does that mean for the initiative?
My first year, I didn't do I did have a speaker, but she was actually on Shark Tank. She was the winner of Shark Tank last year. Wow. And what I wanted to do is tap into more digital. I believe the world is going digital, and Randy Zuckerberg, we know Mark Zuckerberg's sister, so I know she's going to definitely send a message home on being creative, because the world is now digital. Yeah. As much as any type of business you have, you need the digital aspect of it. Marketing is key, definitely, when it comes to it. So I would definitely say I think she's going to do a great speech. We have a meeting this week to definitely send the keynote speak at home.
Wonderful.
Now, can we get one more of the highlights of what people can expect at this event, and then when and where? Just one more time for anybody who doesn't want to miss it.
It's March 19th at Bahama at 7 p.m. We have 2 panelists, one C-suite, one entrepreneurship, and I'll also be doing the opening remarks. And then we have the famous Randy Zuckerberg doing the keynote speech.
So come out and meet some people, put your hat in the ring.
I believe that you never know who you're going to meet. I actually had a female emailed me about a week ago or 2 weeks ago, said she attended last year, and when she attended, now she's already planning out her business ideas, and she's in high school.
Yeah.
That's what was amazing about it. She's in high school, she's planning out her journey and what she thinks her career is going to be, and I think that's what we need to do, because I always invite high school kids, because I believe that I want them to know that you don't have to be a doctor, a lawyer, anything anymore. You could be any entrepreneur you want to be, and I think we have to remember that the youths, females, let's take it all the way. I want more support for them.
You heard it here first. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Adriana, and I hope everyone gets to go and network. Nobody networks like us girls. Thank you so much.
Network.
We can't wait to hear who the winners are.
Yes.
Now it's time to turn things back over to our Diane Dorset to let her finish telling us when is the cool weather coming back.
Good evening, Marlena and Royson. It's time for your Access weather forecast. It's hump day, which means we're halfway through the week. 2 more days till the weekend, so let's take a look at what's shaping our weather for the next few days. Our satellite picture is showing some low-level clouds in the vicinity of the central Bahamas, while skies remain mostly clear elsewhere across the island chain. Meanwhile, a ridge of high pressure will continue to maintain moderate to strong winds through the weekend. Now, because of those elevated winds, boaters are reminded to exercise extreme caution, and swimmers are advised to stay out of the waters due to the risk of dangerous rip currents. Now, taking a look at your boating forecast, in the northwest Bahamas tonight through Friday, winds will be easterly at 12 to 18 knots with seas at 3 to 6 feet. We'll experience high tides at 8:39 this evening and another one at 8:55 in the morning. For boaters in the central and southeast Bahamas, winds will be easterly at 15 to 25 knots with seas at 5 to 8 feet and a small craft advisory in effect. It's time now for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
My work is on the water. We diving, throw no line is how I survive. Listen, from Boggy to Yellowtail, from Jackfish to Killer Whale, I jump in my dingy boat and I head on down.
That was your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance, and that wraps up your Access weather forecast. Royston and Marlena.
As you heard it, a boatman and a seaman. I don't know if you know this, Diane, but I'm expecting you to tell us all about this cool weather coming up tomorrow. It's way too hot today. It is time now to turn things over to Total Sports to see what's on tap.
Day 1 of the GBPA Track and Field Championships kicking off today at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Details of that story and more coming up in sports.
Come and visit us at Shop Smart, 'cause everything is here.
Yes, we have it all for you. Toys, clothing, office supplies, appliances, custom cut blinds, bedding, drapes, and rugs. Come and visit us on Mackey Street, 2 blocks down from Wolf Road. Call us at 698-1052.
Shop Smart, Shop Smart, that's Shop Smart. Oh, everything is here.
Wednesday Sports Check, everyone. I'm Amajal Knowles, topping sports after months of anticipation and build-up as well as trash talk. It was finally time to take to the track. Day one of the GBPA Track and Field Championships getting underway today at the old Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Let's take a look at the highlights. Will the S.E. McPherson Sharks be able to defend their crowns in the junior division? And can the C.R. Walker Knights retain their top spot in the senior rankings after being unseated by the C.V. Bethel Stingrays? These are two of the most prominent questions surrounding the 2026 GBPA Track and Field Championships, which got underway this morning at the old Thomas A. Robinson Track and Field Stadium, as dozens of athletes hoping to run, jump, and throw their way to success and help their respective schools to the top of the standings after 3 days of competition. Rounding out the event on day one would be the under 20 400-meter heat. Over in the girls section would be the C.R. Walker Knights' Sasha Wright storming past her competition, crossing the tape in 59:49.
I just got out for my first 100. I was relaxed for my backstretch. I just want to bring it home because it's just heat and I want to come back and win the finals.
On the boys' side, this one would be a two-man race in a duel down to the final 30 meters. That would see Anatole Rogers, Tyrese Duncombe edge out Griff, the qualifier, Jonathan Higgs at the finish line, stopping the clock in 50:68.
Out off strong. When you reach the box stretch, relax, try to keep your pace. This headwind. Headwind can kill you. 200, you push, and you hold that until the end.
It's always a close finish at the end. What help you pull through at the end to get the edge?
Trying to beat my PR, and I know he's a go to qualifier, I say. Got to make a name and say I beat him for once.
As for the defending champions in both the divisions, the Sharks and Stingrays are hoping to keep their trophies in their mantles, but they know it will be a tough task.
Well, you know, the expectation is always to win. But we have a new crop of athletes now, still coming to primary school and, still trying to get them to understand what it is to be a champion. But we're still working. We know how to fight. We're still pushing. It's kind of tough. It's a dog fight. We know it's not going to be easy, but we still fighting pushing to retain our title.
Well, basically, we are the defending champions, and kudos to CV Battle. But this year, it's going to be difficult to, repeat that again. But we prepared ourselves and trying our best. All the schools are now rooting for us. Like last year, we were rooting for trying to go at C.R. Walker and, cut the head off the snake. Now, we in the chair, so I know all those other schools, they come in with full force.
Stay tuned into the ZNS sports team as we update you on the scores and highlights from this year's GBPA Track and Field Championships. To the Diamond and baseball news, the Bahama contingent certainly making their presence felt for Great Britain as they gear up for the World Baseball Classic. GB would take care of the Milwaukee Brewers 7-3 yesterday in an exhibition game at the American Family Fields in Phoenix, Arizona. 6 Bahamans starting the game for Great Britain, including Major Leaguer Jazz Chisholm Jr. Batting cleanup and playing first base would be B.J. Murray Jr., who finished 3 for 4 with 2 walks and a run scored. Batting behind him would be D.H. Christian Robinson, who finished 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run scored. In limited playing time, Jazz would go 0 for 1, be walked twice and scored a run. Also starting for Great Britain on Tuesday were Trace Thompson in right field, Lucius Fox Jr. at shortstop, Ian Lewis Jr. in left field. Other Bahamians on the roster include pitcher Chavez Fernandez and Albert Cartwright Jr., who's an assistant coach. Great Britain is in a pool with former champion United States, Mexico, Italy, and Brazil. Just the top 2 nations will advance to the quarterfinals. In the college basketball news, it was a banner day for Bahamian hooper Fred King as he picked up a handful of individual awards after his Murray State Racers would end conference play. King, who performed at a high level from the start of the season, was named to the All-Missouri Valley Conference team, getting a spot on the first team. King was also named the MVC Newcomer of the Year and was a member of the All-Newcomer team as well. He would also gain a spot on the All-Defensive team. King averaged 13 points and 8 rebounds on the year while shooting 64% from the field. The Racers are the number 4 seed at the State Farm Arch Madness Missouri Valley Conference Tournament at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis. They will meet the 5th seeded UIC Flames on Friday. And that's all the time we have for you for sports on this Wednesday. I'm Amajal Knowles, signing out until tomorrow.
Step into any Super Value or Quality Supermarkets location for great specials like Devon corned beef, 12 ounces, $2.29. Jakar vegetable oil, 40 ounces, $4.49. Pearl Milling pancake mixes, assorted 28 ounces, $4.99. Sweet cantaloupes, 2 for $5. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, $1.15 per pound. From store to store, no one saves you more than Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Makush Lapinder. This is ZNS.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal, at the check-in counter, at security checkpoints, or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are...
You're looking at a shot of the Harold and Wilson Ponds National Park. It was established in 2002. And it's time now for a trip to the Family Islands. Let's take a trip back to Eleuthera. Let's go.
Thanks, Marlena. Following the United States' and Israel's coordinated military operations against the Iranian regime on February 28th, just as it is here in the capital, some Family Island communities are remaining on high alert and responding to the possibility of fuel cost increases as a result. President of the Eleuthera Chamber of Commerce, Thomas Sands Jr., explains what the business community across the island is anticipating as those international tensions continue.
I think at this point we haven't seen any change as a result of the war, but it's expected that we will. And so the reality is that we perceive that the price of fuel will increase. Of course, you know, the price in the Family Islands is always a little bit higher than Nassau. And so any increase in costs of fuel will negatively impact, I think, some opportunities taking place.
And it's now time for Let's Talk Socials with Matea Stewart.
Happy Wednesday, beautiful people. Today's topic is where church meets trends. Mount Tabor Church is proving that ministry and marketing can coexist. And sometimes all it takes is a little humor. The local church recently hopped on a trending social media format where participants are asked their age. But here's the twist. If you were born anywhere in the 1900s, you were immediately exposed as old. And not just old, prehistoric. As members shared their birth years, anyone born in the 1900s was playfully clowned, with edited images popping up showing them in ancient times, adding to the exaggeration and the humor.
Symphony, what year were you born in?
2001.
Miss Tasha, what year were you born?
1980.
Bryson, what year were you born in?
2017.
Deandra, what year were you born in?
1997.
Mr. Hudson, what year were you born in?
1996. Maria, what year were you born in?
2018.
Ahmad, what year were you born in? I was born in 1980. Ashley, what year were you born in?
I was born in 19...
Miss Eureka, what year were you born in?
I born in 1970.
Joseph, what year were you born in? 1995.
It's clear why the video resonated. It's funny, it's relatable, and it bridges generations in a way that feels light instead of divisive. In a digital era where attention is currency, moments like this expand reach beyond Sunday's service walls and onto timelines. It's ministry with media awareness. And whether you were born in 1999 or 1969, one thing's clear. Mount Tabor understood the assignment. I'm Mateo. Tune in tomorrow.
Thanks so much, Mateo. Now, somebody asked me that question, you might get casual violence from me on a Wednesday.
You're like, just put me in the old time thing already.
It's
like, don't waste my time. Just edit the video now. Just put me in there.
Of course, all this week we've been asking you to send us your photos and your funny videos.
And tonight we'd like to share the sweet proposal of Kirk Smith and Takel Major that happened last weekend at the Chandler Moore concert. Take a look.
That's what a sweet moment. Now, if you want to see yourself on Access Now, be sure to send us your footage and your photos to btaccessnow@gmail.com. But that's going to do it for us here on Access Now for tonight.
And be sure to stick around for the rundown with Howard Grant. Good night, everyone.
My motto is one girl at a time. If we start with just one thing and we build on that, I think that makes a whole big difference. When we started out, we didn't anticipate having 1,000 children here. Our goal was to reach one child at a time. The whole idea was to find a safe place for them, some place for them to express their talents and their giftings, and also a positive environment for them to be in. I do the work that I do in my community because I see that they can become more than they are. I can see that they will be great in this community. I can see born leaders. And one thing I can say, the change in them has affected their families. If we started something small, it grows, and we have a greater impact on the community as a whole. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
I put my foolish pride aside in acknowledgement of your goodness. Everything is the Lord's in the earth in its fullness.
It's M-A-D-I-O Mario, and I'm inviting you to tune into Entertainment Fridays on the Bahamas tonight. Access now at 7:30 p.m. You miss it, you diss it.
To fall, but was caught before I fell. Was so hard-headed, too stubborn to ask for help.
That's the Bahamas Tonight. Access now, weekdays, 7:30 p.m. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
The thought of colon cancer never really crossed my mind until 2019, when a very good friend of mine was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. I was shocked. Everybody was shocked because he was a picture of perfect health. He was young, athletic, successful, and full of life. Many of us are still in disbelief. I started to question my own health because if it happened to him, surely it could happen to me.
At the House of Assembly, I'm Makushla Pinder. This is ZNS.
I'm Howard Grant, and welcome to the Rundown here on ZNS Television Network. It's so wonderful to have you with us. It is a beautiful Wednesday evening, hump day. I know you guys are getting prepared for the weekend and being able to do a great deal of things, but before we do that, we got to introduce you to some wonderful people that we have in the studio with us to talk about some things that have been happening around town. I know that you're interested in that. I know that you're interested more specifically in finding out a little bit about your kidneys. With a great deal of things that's happening around the country and a lot of persons being able to move towards dialysis, we need to find out more. This is Kidney Awareness Month. We got some great people in the house to be able to tell us about that. Roberts and Roberts. And so we're going to be able to dive into that a little right after the commercial break. But before that, we got to be able to let you know also that we got the Chamber of Commerce in the house with Chairman Williams, and he's going to be telling us all about the Bahamas Business Investment Forum. So we're going to be talking about that. And take this quick commercial break. When we get back, we're going to dive deeper into it right after this.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Well, what about me? What about you? What? Well, I thirsty too, you know. You want to see all the water out there? Well, why you don't give me your water, and then you go try and drink that salt water? You crazy, eh? I ain't the one talking to a dog, you know.
Ain't nobody could drink salt water.
Then why you won't give it to me? All dogs need fresh, cool water and sufficient shelter from the sun all year round, especially on the beach and during the hot summer months.
Summers are very hot here in the Bahamas, so please make sure all pets have ample, cool, fresh water in proper containers and sufficient shelter from the sun, even on the beach. And make sure all dog houses and kennels have proper ventilation. Let's make it Bahamian to be humane.
This message has been brought to you by the Bahamas Humane Society and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
And we are back. This is The Rundown. I'm Howard Grant. Now, March is designated as Kidney Awareness Month in the Bahamas, led by the Bahamas Kidney Association, the BKA, to promote the prevention, education, and support of those with kidney disease. Joining us tonight is Bahamas Kidney Association President Tamika Roberts and neopathologist and the Association's Executive Medical Director, Dr. Lavad Roberts. Welcome to The Rundown.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me what your occupation is.
Nephrologist.
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 I only think you're And it's so wonderful to be able to have you guys tonight. Introduce yourself, let persons know what you do, let them know about your specific area and expertise of what you do.
Okay, so Lavad Roberts, I'm a kidney specialist, as called, a nephrologist, also hypertension specialist, internal medicine specialist. I am the Executive Medical Director of the Bahamas Kidney Association.
How long have you been doing this?
So 10 plus years now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You went to school and you say, I got to deal with kidneys.
I actually found that out as I was working in PMH. I said,
really?
Yeah, I think kidneys is the path for me. It's actually meeting the patients. You know, the patients are what sold it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, Ms. Roberts, tell me about what you do. Now, I didn't get in their business. I just want to be decent. I didn't ask them all the questions. No, it's all the answers you need to know. Ms. Roberts, introduce yourself. Let them know, right?
Yes, I am the president of the Bahamas Kidney Association, and we have been a nonprofit for about 5 years. And how I got involved in it actually is my family was affected by kidney disease, and I was able to donate to my brother in 2018. And so from there, we were able to found the association in 2021.
Tell me a little bit more about this. Donate to my brother.
Yeah, well, my brother was diagnosed with kidney disease, and in 2018, you know, after my family went through the process, he was on dialysis for less than a year, and my family, of course, we knew that we didn't want this kind of lifestyle for him. We wanted him to have a better quality of life. And so in 2018, June of 2018, June 27th to be exact, 2018, we went through the process of transplantation, and I donated my kidney to him.
Wow. You're a good sister.
I am.
He can't even row you no more.
He can't. He better not.
It's a wonderful thing to be able to do. I want to know a little bit more about this, and I want you guys to be able to jump right in. I'd like you to tell me about not just Kidney Awareness Month, but I'd like to be able to find out what is this sort of a kidney disease and how people grapple with that. How do you know? How do you identify that? And let persons know possibly the telltale signs as we get into it.
Yeah, so kidney disease is actually on the rise, okay? Each year, the prevalence and incidence of kidney disease, we're at about 850 million worldwide. So 1 in 8 persons in the Bahamas alone is affected with some form of kidney disease. Our present statistics, we have over 600 persons on dialysis. So, yes.
Now?
Presently.
In the Bahamas?
Correct.
In Nassau, or you mean?
Throughout the whole Bahamas.
And where are the dialysis centers? Is it concentrated in Nassau? They got to come here, or they have places elsewhere?
So we actually have 2 forms of dialysis. There's the dialysis we do with the blood, and there's the dialysis we do with the stomach. So most of our persons are on what we call the hemodialysis, the blood dialysis, and those centers are primarily based in Nassau, Freeport, and Abaco. Okay? Wow. There's peritoneal dialysis, where you can actually be doing dialysis remotely. You do that at home in the comfort of your own home. That is a less common form of dialysis in the Bahamas, but there are some persons who still do peritoneal dialysis in our country.
That is amazing. Well, tell me about this. I want to know a little bit more about these particular things. I know that this is Kidney Awareness Month, but I don't remember, for the time that I've been doing this, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember distinctly being able to identify Kidney Awareness Month. So when does this commence? How long has this been that you've been being able to identify this locally in our country?
Well, Kidney Awareness Month is something that happens globally. And like I said, before the association came on board in 2021, there was the Bahamas Kidney Foundation. That was established in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s. They became inactive, and after my brother and I went through our process and we came back, someone heard about our story. It was on the media, and we had a lot of persons reaching out to us wanting to find out more about, you know, the whole process and just for encouragement. And when we looked around, we did not see that there was an association. We saw that there was a gap. And because of that gap, I initially had reached out to Dr. Ada Thompson, who was the first president, actually, of the foundation. And over a period of time, she just asked if I would be able to carry on the work, you know, fill in the gap for the Bahamians that needed the support and needed the help. And I said yes to the call. And so in 2021, I think we began actively raising awareness, actively being a part of the whole global
So this
awareness.
is where the gap exists in my head?
That is where the gap existed in your head, yes. There was a gap.
We got breast cancer, we got this, we got that.
That's where the gap, that is where the gap.
And we see that on the rotation.
Correct.
So it's important that we have this conversation about Kidney Awareness Month.
Absolutely, and you will see this on the rotation. So definitely next year, March, you'll know that you'll have on your green for the entire March.
For the entire March?
For the entire March.
I think this is the luck of the Irish. Well, talk to me about this. Talk to me about those 600 cases, Doc. Those 600 cases, I'd like to know the ratio in those particular cases. How many kids, how many adults, and how we kind of dealing with this, because it sounds expensive.
So kidney disease is no respecter of persons, okay? Although we have more females being diagnosed, it's actually a kind of misnomer that females just seek medical attention more than males, okay? So we have more females being diagnosed. But the problem is...
That could just be the statistics of or the demographics. We have more females.
Well, believe it or not, it's the fact that males present later. You know,
really?
We kind of wait, we hide things, we kind of take care of it at home. And when the symptoms are really apparent, that's when we seek medical care. Whereas the females, they get diagnosed early, so the intervention is early. And that's the key with kidney disease, early intervention and prevention, okay? The first 3 to 4 stages of kidney disease, there's typically no symptoms. When the symptoms develop, that's when your kidney function is 20% or less, okay? That's when you start to see the swelling in the legs, the difficulty breathing, the itching, the nausea, the loss of appetite, the weight loss. That's the end stages and symptoms of kidney disease.
Wow. I had no idea about these particular things. So you said that you could travel through 3 stages, and at the times you actually get through these 3 stages, is 5 or is 4 stages?
Total of 5 stages.
5 stages.
Correct.
So the first 3 you travel through, and you know, everything, you're still functioning as normal, but you're actually functioning at 20%.
So, yeah, so kidney disease can advance without you even knowing it. The key is getting checked, getting those annual blood and urine testing, because that's the early symptoms, or early signs of kidney disease. When that creatinine in your blood rises, that's because your kidney is having trouble clearing out the toxins.
Wow.
When you have protein or blood in the urine, there's some microscopic damage in the kidney that needs to be intervened earlier when it's reversible, because when that inflammation turns into scarring, there's nothing much we can do but start the dialysis machine in some persons.
Wow. That's really sad to hear, because what are the telltale signs? How do we know? Whether or not we have kids, whether or not we're adults, you know, we're prone to sugary drinks, you know, we're prone to specific beverages, you know, we're prone to a starchy diet here locally. What are some of the telltale signs to know that, okay, you're on this particular path, you got to go check yourself out?
So you hit kind of the nail on the head. The 2 most common reasons for kidney failure is diabetes and hypertension. It's not only just in our country, but this is worldwide. Both are on the rise. When you have uncontrolled diabetes and hypertension, it's a snowball effect, and that kidney failure, it becomes exponential, okay? Early checks, if finding out if you're diabetic or hypertensive and getting out of control, that's how you prevent the development or progression of kidney disease. Those same symptoms that present is that swelling of the feet, okay? Or you notice there's a funny metallic taste in your mouth. Simple as nausea.
It's like copper.
Exactly, okay? And people, the food they used to like, they don't even like it anymore because it tastes off to them, okay? And these are the early signs. That's the toxins changing the actual architecture of your nerves and your taste buds.
Well, tell me about this, Ms. Roberts. Tell me about what's going to be happening, the list of the activities that's going to be commencing for the Kidney Awareness Month.
So for Kidney Awareness Month, we started off with our church service. That was on Sunday. But on this weekend...
Yeah, this got to be in the Bahamas.
Yes, this weekend...
We're going to church first.
Yeah, we're going to church first. We're going to church first. That's right. So this weekend, we have our Fun Run Walk, and that is going to take place at Goodman's Bay, starting at 6:30. From Goodman's Bay to, we have 2 routes, Goodman's Bay to Sandals, and then from Goodman's Bay to Sandy Port and back. And we're asking the public to come on down and support this race. We're asking you also to wear green. It is a worthy cause. It is a very worthy cause. With our funds, we assist patients with 4 medications for free, persons that are enrolled in our medication assistance program. We also have monthly support group sessions for kidney patients and support members to assist them along this journey. So it is a worthy cause. Recently, we started to focus on our dialysis project, and this is to assist us in raising funds to donate dialysis machines to the Public Hospital Authority. And so we are doing a lot of things, and this is one of our major fundraising events. And then on the 14th of March, it's an open public session sponsored by BEAR, where Dr. Roberts will lead out into an open public session about kidney health and living donation.
Sponsored by?
Sponsored by BEAR.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we're inviting the public to join us, and that will be at 4 o'clock at the University of the Bahamas in the Harry C. Moore building, the auditorium there. And so we're asking persons to come on down. That's on March 14th at 4 p.m. And then...
So you got the activities starting. The church service is going to be starting Sunday.
The church service is done.
Oh, you didn't been to church?
We didn't been to church.
March. We having a good time now.
We didn't, we have to give God thanks. Got to give him thanks.
Praise God.
That's right.
So now, this Saturday coming, you're going to be at Goodman Bay.
Goodman's Bay, 6:30.
At 6:30 in the morning?
6:30 in the morning.
How do people register?
You can register online at fourseasonsmanagement.com. You can also stop into our office. We do have an office on Mount Royal Avenue, and we will be there between 10 and 2. So we're encouraging people to sign up, fourseasonsracemanagement.com, or you can stop in at our office.
Doc, I'd like to be able to ask you a question, Dr. Roberts. Tell me about some of the economic and emotional and mental tolls that a person actually endures during this particular time with the kidney disease as they continue to grapple with it. Some of the issues that they actually have in terms of walking into that.
Yeah, so it's life-changing, right? You think about your kidneys on a daily basis, clearing your blood 24/7, right? At a certain point, it's no longer to do that. Now you have to use a dialysis machine to clean the blood for you. We can't use a dialysis machine 24/7, so 3 days a week now you have to go to a dialysis unit and get your blood cleaned for about 4 hours at a time. So a lot of people, their lives are uprooted, but not just for that individual going through dialysis, but the loved ones around them. So caregivers embark on this same journey with them. So the association not only looks at patients, but also the caregivers around them, because there's a lot to take on when someone takes on kidney disease. Now, you were able to eat what you want to eat, do the things that you want to do, work how you want to work, but now your life revolves around a machine 3 days out of the week. So a lot of people, they retreat, especially if you don't have the support around you. Depression is high, okay? It's a high mental toll. So this is why the association tries to be there for them, because we know those who are going through it understand it, okay? And our president, being a living donor, she went through the walk herself. So it's those who are around in the association, they are members, either caregivers or persons actually suffering from kidney disease as well.
It's an amazing thing.
Okay, and to talk about the economic aspect, it's costly, okay? There are some countries that don't even offer dialysis because they cannot afford it for their population, okay? If your kidneys are failing, if you don't have the funds to support it, we take you to palliative measures in those kind of countries. Wow. But in the Bahamas, we have the ability to actually provide.
So in those countries, it's just hospice?
Correct.
That's crazy.
They either pay for each dialysis session or they just prepare hospice.
Wow. It's unfortunate. I want everyone to be able to recognize the importance of doing these things. I think in our country for a very long time, we've grappled with these things. We call it one thing or another, but we haven't been able to really be able to deal with this. This is big money for some, but truly this is life-changing for a great deal of persons.
Yes.
And a lot of persons who are sitting on dialysis right now, probably watching us right now, are hoping and waiting, maybe on a list somewhere, for a very, very expensive transplant.
Correct.
Yeah. A lot of persons are telling me that they're looking at Turkey, they're looking at all these particular spaces about possibly being able to see that. Is that something that we do here locally also?
So when we look at kidney transplant, there's two types. We have the living donor, where someone, a relative or a close friend, or even someone gifting the kidney transplants one of their 2 kidneys to someone. And then there's the deceased donor, where if someone passes away, their organs are donated to somebody for a new life. The average wait list for a deceased donor is around 6 years. Okay? If you have someone willing to donate a kidney for you, you can get one as soon as 6 to 9 months. Now, even if you're not a match, there's new things that are rising where you can have a paired donor exchange. If I don't match for my brother or sister, I can donate to someone else who donates to my brother or sister. Okay, so there's various options. So we know the U.S. and Canada.
Crowdfunding.
Exactly. So we know the U.S. and Canada is well known for kidney transplants, but there's many places around the world the options are widening as time goes on. Okay, but dialysis is only a bridge, okay? One, those with kidney disease don't see it as an end all, okay? Continue to have that hope, because if you get a transplant, you can get the life that you had before dialysis.
Wow. I'd like both of you to kind of hit this last thing before we get out of here. What are some of the messages that you want to kind of drive home about kidney disease and kidney prevention? And then list some of those things that persons could be able to understand about symptoms and whatnot, just in case you're in this kind of a position and you maybe function at a 25%, you're not sure yet, right? So just talk to me about that.
Well, I'd like to end. I'll just go before Dr. Roberts.
Go ahead.
But I'd like to end with the public just calling them to definitely support our events. We have a lot of things going on. We also have free renal screening during this month that is being sponsored by Eden Well. You call our office, and if you have any concerns about whether your kidneys are working or not, you call our office and we'll give you a coupon so that you can get a free renal screening. Also,
office on Mount Royal?
On Mount Royal,
okay, good.
Yes. Yes. Also, I have to mention our inaugural event. This is the first time that the Bahamas Kidney Association is having a gala event, our Emerald Soiree, which is sponsored, our title sponsor is J.S. Johnson. That will be on March 28th. And this promises to be an evening full of elegance, a celebration, fun, and also just spotlighting and highlighting kidney disease and those that are in the community. And so we want to encourage persons to be a part of that. We have diamond sponsors, the Kidney Center and Eden Well, who are diamond sponsors during this event. And also we have ruby sponsors, MedNet, and also we have the Ministry of Health and Wellness, who have partnered with us, who are on board. And so this is going to be a fantastic evening.
How much for tickets well, don't tell me how much for the ticket. Let the people call you.
Yes. Our number is 436-1317. 436-1317. So we want persons, and also I have to put in this plug for kidney patients, those that you're not a part of the association. On the 15th of March, we are having a cooking demo, and this cooking demo is partnered with Doctors Hospital along with Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. And in this session, we teach patients how to prepare renal meals. And that is so important, especially for those on dialysis. And so we want persons to come on down, be a part of this session on March 15th. If you are a kidney patient or if you're a support family member and you want to support your loved one, please come on down. We will be sharing more about you in terms of renal-friendly meals.
436-1317.
436-1317.
Tickets to the gala?
Tickets for the gala, tickets for, and the cooking session is free.
The cooking session?
That's free.
So you're teaching people how to cook?
Yes, and that's free.
They can take their samples with them?
They could take their samples with them, yes.
That's a weird sample,
yes.
Right? And talk to me about this, Doc. We were talking about this sort of an idea about the message that you want to drive home, but I'd like you to start off with these particular symptoms, that if you're operating, like you indicated, at the 20%, if you're operating, if you are possibly going through the first phase, second stage, so forth and so on, how would we know?
So I'll start by saying this: ignorance is not bliss. Okay, the most important point is prevention is key. I want everybody to get their annual checks. Okay, know what your kidney status is. Ask your doctor, how is my kidney functioning? What percentage? Is there any protein or blood in urine? That way you can know early intervention to prevent the progression of your kidney disease. I don't want you to develop those symptoms, because when you get that symptom of that nausea, that vomiting, that metallic taste, at that time, it's more so delaying the inevitable rather than the prevention, okay? See a kidney doctor when your kidney function is under 60%. If you have a history of kidney stones, any blood or protein in urine. There's medications, there's lifestyle changes that can reverse the kidney disease before you need. Even though I'm actually referring to the microscope, things we can't even see. So the protein in the urine, sometimes it presents as foam or froth in the urine.
Okay, good.
But a blood test, a urine test, sorry, it can find a microscopic blood or protein that catches it before you yourself see the symptoms of the blood or the protein in the urine.
So anytime you see foam, if you're urinating, anytime you see foam, is it something to be able to be aware about? Because
get checked out. I would say before
anytime,
you assume.
no matter how old you is.
Before, no matter what age. If you're 6 years old or 66 years old.
You're drinking sugar.
You shouldn't be drinking sugar. But a simple urinalysis could say, is this foam protein or not? Do I need to intervene here? Because that could be the sign that, hey, something is going on. You can be diagnosed with diabetes at that time, okay? But you gotta look for those signs and symptoms. Make sure you stop the development of end-stage renal disease.
This is interesting. I look forward to it, guys. You want to be able to be out this evening. Well, on the weekend, you want to be able to be out at Goodwin's Bay. You can find out more information. Four Seasons Management, you can be able to get some information from them. They'll be able to assist you with that. Also, you can be able to hit them up for the gala, 436-1317. Ms. Roberts, Dr. Roberts, I want to thank you guys so very kindly. You want to leave anything else? You want to say anything else before you go?
Just want to thank all of our sponsors. We've had a lot of support to pull off.
What you're doing.
This is very important. This is very important. I want to thank all of our sponsors. They have really supported us to get this event off. Again, I want to thank J.S. Johnson, our title sponsor, the Kidney Center, and also Eden Well, our diamond sponsors, and also MedNet and the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Ladies and gentlemen, when we get back, we're going to be taking a look at the economy. the view for the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce. Stay with us right here. This is Rundown. We'll be right back after this. I want to thank you,
Planning the execution of a newscast is serious business. From the assignment to the concept of the story, everything has to be precise, on point, always. The Bahamas Tonight, the national report, is your trusted news service. We get it right the first time. Our preparation for you each night is done with care, knowing that our voices will reach you on 700 islands and keys with unquestionable accuracy. It gives me great pleasure each night to say, welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the national report. I'm your national anchor, Makushla Pinder.
My name is Omar Ferguson. I've been disabled now from 2009. What inspired me to start my own business? It was the determination to know that I still had something left in me, even though a lot of my independence, my mobility was being restricted. In my disability, it's kind of hard finding the investors or the capital. For example, national insurance. The benefit that we receive, it's a lifeline. And in any business that you're going to take, it's going to be a risk. We're not looking for handouts, but we want you to understand that we still need a little special care. This literally gives us a backbone that, hey, we could actually stand someday. This is the business I know it's going to be a risk. Even going through that process, I'm still dependent on national insurance. Overall, being in the program itself has put me in a place where I feel young again. I feel like anything is possible. I would say to others with disabilities, look around your community, just like you guys said in one of the modules. See what is needed in your community and go for it. Don't be afraid, just go for it.
For more information about how the SBDC can help your small business to make a big impact, give us a call at 461-7232 or visit sbdcbahamas.com.
Their mission is to be the voice of the business community. The Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and the Employees Confederation advocacy directly impacts the national policies and promotes good governance that drives growth and prosperity to our business environment. Tonight, the Chamber's chairman, Don Williams, is here with us and set to talk all about things economic. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you so much for appearing with us here on The Rundown.
Thank you for having me.
That's wonderful, man. You know, I got all kinds of questions, but I just... Tell me about the Bahamas Business and Investment Forum. Tell me about that. I think you guys did that last week.
Last week, Friday, the Bahamas Business and Investment Forum hosted in West Palm Beach. Wonderfully attended. I'd like to say that...
In West Palm?
In West Palm. The keynote was given by the Prime Minister.
Is. I just want to be very clear. Oh, West Palm, okay.
You know, the Bahamas is all about attracting the necessary investment that it takes to keep our economy going. I believe the Prime Minister just today was able to comment on the $1 billion revenue that the government has been collecting over the past year. And we'd like to see that trickle down to a lot of the businesses, boost the economy, decrease the cost of doing business, as well as the cost of living. But back to the Bahamas Business and Investment Forum, I have to say, well attended. The consulate out of Washington, in collaboration with the consulate in Miami, did a wonderful job. It really showcased the beauty of the Bahamas, investment that is available. Freeport was on stage for how easy it is to invest in Freeport, what opportunities there are, as well as the people, the service that we provide. So whether it is in financial services, whether it's in the yachting industry, whether it's in real estate, all of that was showcased there. Even AI.
In West Palm, they did all this in there?
In West Palm.
So what was the objective? What was the, outside of being able to sit in the space to indicate that the Bahamas is essentially open for business and there's productivity, there's activity, there's some things going on. What is the overarching objective that you wanted to kind of wean to yield from this sort of an exposure in an external environment?
It's really and truly, it's just to make sure that investors understand that the Bahamas is a place to play, to invest, to do business, to create new opportunities, start new industries. And like I said, that was definitely on stage.
Mm-hmm. Is there a time that we can be able to look at, given the fact that we are in a election year, there are some things happening. Are investments, well, I guess if you're a savvy investor, you know these particular things, but are the investors really being able to look from an external standpoint at these sort of bullet points to make a determination as to whether or not this is a good time to invest? Or are you encouraging them, hey, listen, any time is always a good time to invest in the Bahamas?
So the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce will always say that this is a great time to invest in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. It's always a great time to invest in the Bahamas, no matter what season you're in. The hotel industry may be slow in September, but we will still tell you invest in the Bahamas.
We'll take your money.
There is no other place
we'll take your money.
Invest in the Bahamas. And we as Bahamians, we invest in ourselves as well. So we're encouraged by it. Now, do we have concerns? As always, the Chamber has concerns. We have concerns about the cost of living. We have the concerns of ease of doing business, and that's one of the primary focus of the Chamber during my chairmanship.
Tell me about the ease of doing business. Under former administration, we've been identified as 124 in the world, and there was some contraction under that administration that happened with the expectation to find us in a better position. Tell me where we stand now, and under your tenure, and as you continue to be able to move, are we making incremental steps from a global standpoint to ensure that we're in a better space?
We are making global steps. Now, the concern is that it's still difficult to seek financing. It is extremely difficult to open up a simple bank account.
Now, this is domestically?
This is domestically. When compared to some of our neighboring countries.
Yeah, because some people tell me I could apply right now from wherever I am for LLC, for a bank account, for this, for that, in Florida.
Days.
And this never happened before.
Now, at the Chamber, we're trying to mitigate some of that. Now, we understand that, the government has certain difficulties. We've stepped up where we can, and businesses have stepped up. No longer are you hearing the complaints as much. There's a need to complain from time to time. So, for example, Inland Revenue, it's the season for business license renewal.
Yeah, top of the year.
Depending on who you talk to, you may have gotten your business license renewed within 72 hours.
That's crazy what you say.
Now.
It's the truth, though.
It is the truth. So the one thing that we're going to do at the Chamber is we're going to give credit when credit is due, and at the same token, we're going to apply pressure. In this case, we had to apply pressure just recently. So there was a business that some 30 days, they applied, but the process was taking long. And those are the type of things we're trying to mitigate. We're trying to find that equilibrium where we can say, look, the process needs to be corrected. How can we do that from the private sector to now be applied to the business sector? And in that regard, what we did as a Chamber in January, because we want to be the change that we want to see. So in January, just to mitigate some of that risk, we hosted our Business Readiness Expo, first week in January, where we invited all of the necessary stakeholders. So you had Inland Revenue, NIB, TDC, Customs. BICO was there to assist you with understanding regulations. We had one of our patron sponsors, Alive Business, that was there, and countless others, town planning. What that allowed is for no more conversation, no panel discussion, but any business owner, entrepreneur that came there with the right documentation, you were able to walk in and walk out with a business license or resolution to concerns that you may have had. Because now all of the entities are in one room, the dialogue can be had whenever there's conflict. If NIB says you need to go back to inland revenue, well, great. The tables were side by side.
This is one of the most excruciatingly painful processes of being able to get some level of solution when you go to a business entity, right? And so you go to NIB say, well, you didn't have this, you got to go back and do this. You go back to inland revenue say, you got to go back to NIB say, well, you got to send us an email, you got to do this. This is exhausting. If I didn't need this money, well, I need the money, right? So I can do it, right? But talk to me about that. Are you mitigating against those processes? And there has been this sort of position that a lot of us have taken over the years, especially with the introduction of the Commercial Enterprise Bill, now the Commercial Enterprise Act, would give a sense of expedience to those from an external standpoint, but yet we still had to kind of muddle through this process to get these particular things done. And then, like you said, depending on who you know, you might get some things expedited. Depending on who you know or what you present, you may be able to get some things expedited. So there's no straight across the board expedience from a domestic standpoint. So tell me about that. Tell me about those particular processes, if it's working out on our behalf, or you being able to look at that and make some things happen.
It is working out on our behalf. I have to say that our expo, we had absolutely no complaints. It was wonderfully accepted, not only by the stakeholders.
But you got everybody in the room.
We got everyone in the room. Now, at the same time, in having everyone in the room, we took that opportunity to sit down with those stakeholders and say, what do you have planned? You've now seen how we've been able to sit down and work out a plan in order to ease the tension, right? Create now better opportunities for businesses to transact business. You don't need to apply for a business license and spend weeks trying to get a matter resolved. You don't need to go down to NIB. And I'll speak to conversation that we had with NIB while at the expo. NIB has various opportunities for you to actually interact with NIB without having to actually go down to NIB or even pick up the phone. So they have an ESS portal. I stand to be corrected in that. So you can log in as a business owner, and you can fill out the necessary forms that you need. You can actually pay online.
So, and they
have an
also
app
have this,
as well.
Is this a part of the My Gateway thing also? I think they have.
And it's not a part of My Gateway. Okay. That is actually NIB's idea. Okay. They actually have a easy submit app as well.
Really?
So they're creating the opportunities through technology to assist us in streamlining it. Now, it is up to us, one, as businesses, to adopt it to change, and two, for the stakeholders to push the change that's being put out there in technology so that we can now understand, educate ourselves, and how to create that change.
Tell me about this. Small and medium businesses play a significant role in our society, right? Well, let's do this.
The driving force.
Small and medium businesses out of the United States of America, they have conditioned us to understand that the SMEs are the driving force of the economy, the driving force that create these particular things. Most recently, well, historically, our country has always focused on anchor projects, governmental concepts, big business, and created an environment where persons are just laborers. With the shift that's happening, whether it's as a result of COVID-19, as a result of the pandemic, as a result of hurricanes, as a result of this, the economic decline from a global standpoint, a lot of persons are now turning to this sort of a concept, an idea of being able to get into small and medium business. Is the Chamber focused on entrepreneurialism? Is the Chamber focused on being able to help persons develop a very clear understanding of what it takes to be able to get into business, understanding your books, the accountability aspect, and all these particular things? Are you focused on those things?
It's always been a focus of the Chamber of Commerce. In terms, we liaise with our strategic partners for that very reason. So whether it's TDC, SPDC, the University of the Bahamas, to be able to educate individuals. We even have our own Learning Institute at the Chamber. We have a Young Professional Society at the Chamber. Yes, we do. Our focus...
I'm going to let you know, I've never heard about this.
You've never heard about this?
Young Professionals Society. Now, when you say young...
I'm going to challenge you.
I got a couple gray hair, nothing much. Young Professional Society. Tell me about it.
So the Young Professional Society is just as it says. It is a grouping of younger entrepreneurs that are just getting started out, or they may have started, but they require a little bit more mentorship. They require some of the tools that we have now to help them in terms of ease of doing business, understanding their industry, their product, their service level. All big businesses started small. They had to learn from the experiences throughout the years. We're now trying to help the younger, up-and-coming business owners to not have to experience the same pitfalls, because they are going to be the new driving forces. They are going to be the ones now creating the new industries, the new tools. And we have seen it at the Chamber. Our increase in membership is the new members, the new entrepreneurs. One of the youngest members that we have now is actually on our board, Tristan Anna. So you start to see the change, and we have been driving that change.
Well, do you know, it's an amazing thing that you're talking like this and you're being able to talk about those things. I want you to be able to let me know what came out of West Palm. Like, what have you done when you guys were to the Bahamas Business, call it right, Bahamas Business and Investment Forum. You were in West Palm, you did a wonderful job there, and being able to bring that. Now, what do you want to drive home for all those persons who are listening in, who want to get a part of business, who want to do these particular things? What do you want to drive home and let them know? You're also open for business locally. Yes. You want them to come sign up? And what discounts we just get from people placed when they...
So let's start with the last question first. So do we want you to sign up? Yes. You can sign up at the Chamber. You can go on thebahamaschamber.com, our website, click membership, fill out the application form. The ladies in the office will be happy to process. The board will review. Due diligence is always one of our key cornerstones. And you can join the Chamber of Commerce. Feel free to even call our office, 322-2145.
Let me write the number down, 322. Where are you located?
2145. We are located across from Doctor's Hospital,
Shirley
Street and Collins Avenue.
That's the one you're renovating, remodel, and everything?
Renovated, and I would like you to know that those are renovated by members.
So?
Volunteered members.
Yeah, you was very clear, was it volunteered?
Volunteered.
All right, 322, give me the number.
Some $300,000 in renovations to the Chamber's office in order for us to be able to...
Really?
Yes.
Give me the number again.
322-2145.
2145. Ladies and gentlemen, that's none other than Don Williams being able to sit here with us and tell us all about the Chamber's exponential growth and expansion. And they're beautiful. Because I passed it and I was like, this is the same building? Beautiful, beautiful renovations that they're doing in this particular space. And they're being able to do a great deal of things. I don't know if you can stay with me for a couple of hours because we can talk about some things.
Sure.
You can stay? All right, let them stay. We're going to talk about some things, guys. We're going to take this quick commercial break, guys, and be right back after this.
Did you know that there are over 30,000 Bahamians with diabetes and another 23,000 with prediabetes? Each year, this number is expected to increase. Many people who have diabetes are unaware. If you are having blurry vision, feeling thirsty, urinating frequently, or are unusually tired or losing weight despite a healthy diet, you may have diabetes. If you have a parent or sibling that has diabetes, you are also at an increased risk of developing diabetes. If you have noticed any of these symptoms, it is important to see your doctor, who will perform the necessary tests to confirm the diagnosis. Together, we can beat diabetes.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
After I was in a plane crash in June 1983, I lost my left arm. I had some good friends came along, fishing guides. They said, man, we can teach you to fly fish. Exhumo. Can you see? Look at it, man. One of the nicest places you want to be in the world. There were challenges learning to cast, learning to put a fly on a needle, learning to tie the different knots for me as a handicapped individual. As a matter of fact, I don't really feel handicapped because I could do everything, man. Anything anybody could do, I think I could do it too. Because with your mindset to do anything, no matter what you are, what you look like, what's happening to you, you can do it. Persons in our positions, it's hard to get fundings and very, very expensive. SBDC would be helpful in regards to help funding people with disabilities. So nothing is impossible if you're disabled, any kind of disability. Put faith in God and trust God, believe you'll overcome.
And welcome back to The Rundown. I'm Howard Grant. It is a beautiful Wednesday evening, having a great conversation. We talked about a little bit with the Kidney Association, talking about kidneys and the necessity for dialysis and being able to identify what you need to do for preventative measures. So it was a great conversation. We can be able to leave the numbers with you just before we get out of here. And we talked a little bit about the chamber. Now, we still got the chairman here, Mr. Don Williams, and being able to talk about those things. I just want to talk a bit about the economy. I just want to talk a bit about how do you view things from your professional vantage point and being able to identify what's happening around the country, especially being able to express the temperature that you can take going off to West Palm, going to America, watching all these things. How do you view our economy? Where are we moving in the right direction? Are we in the right position for growth and development, or is there some work that needs to be done?
You said it well, Howard. So we are moving in the right direction, right? We're seeing the increases in income for the government. We're seeing the increase in tourist arrivals. The Ministry of Tourism conveyed some 12.5 million tourist arrivals last year. The concern for us is now, how are we ensuring that that growth can be seen across all industries? You may see that while tourism numbers have increased, there may be an issue in terms of now the young entrepreneurs finding their way in, let's say, the maritime industry. Are we seeing a lot more taxes coming out of the government for certain industries? In fact, maritime was one of them. You know, the conversation. The boating tax. The boating tax. The conversation. And the gun license tax. A lot of persons are being able to tackle that also. Yeah. So we see a lot of the taxes that are coming out of it. And obviously, if the government is deciding to tax a lot more of these industries, clearly they're now seeing the growth and development of those industries. We also try to ensure that there's a level of education around it as well, because we need to educate ourselves on what's happening globally.
How do we capture this information? A lot of persons are just, we actually hear about these things post-event, post-opportunity, not necessarily keeping up and keeping abreast with this, whether or not we're consumed by what's happening on our phones from an entertainment standpoint, but then when we kind of lift our heads for some air, we say, oh my God, I didn't know this happened. Oh my God, where did I get this information from? How do we know in advance? Do you have an app? Do you have a website? How do we get more information from the chamber?
So the Chamber, we put out information on a consistent basis through our newsletters. So if you're not a member, we encourage you to become a member so that you can get our monthly newsletters.
I come to sign up, by the way.
I hope so. I expect to see your application. You know. I expect to see your application for all 6, Howard. All 6. Not 1, 6.
Listen, we ain't talk discounts yet. Well, you got relationships. I could lead and
work on that off record. But I expect to see all 6. But back to our point. So we put out a certain amount of information. We do encourage businesses to, listen, also seek, grow, and develop yourselves as well. I can tell you right now, we're in communication with the new ambassador at large for AI, because that is a hot topic. And
who has just been appointed?
Who's just been appointed.
I forget his name.
So the Chamber's Greg, his last name escapes me, but we're on it. The Chamber is
I thought it was a major appointment, by the way.
It is, because it is AI tools that we're trying to get adopted in a lot of the spaces to ensure that there is an ease of, let's say, documentation. Right? Some areas of government, you know, are still paper. Some businesses are still paper-focused. How can we now digitize that? And digitization is not just in terms of documentation. For us, digitization is also how your products now being displayed. Are you just leaving it to your business domestically, or are you now expanding to the family violence? And then come back to the chamber, because we're working with the various embassies that are here so that you can expand to the US, to China, to India. So when you see our trade missions that go out, we're not just there to find a way to gain products from those countries, but we're trying to find a way to have the businesses, the entrepreneurs that we take, how can you now get your products in those countries?
This is exciting stuff, man. It's an exciting thing to be able to have a conversation about where we are. You know, maturity is being able to understand where you are, but the determination of being able to move in the direction that you should. And I want to be able to commend the Chamber of Commerce and all those persons who are attached to you for understanding, okay, this is where the country is. If we look around the world, we need to prepare ourselves to move forward. And I want to be able to commend you for doing that, man. You're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
You're such a young man. You were 13, 14?
I will accept that. I will accept that. Make me legal enough to make sure that I can have my business license.
18. Okay, praise God, right? Well, you know, it's been a wonderful conversation. You got to come back again, man, so we can be able to talk a little bit more about what's happening. We didn't get to the possibility of global fallout when it comes to oil and energy for what we're seeing in Iran and around the world, and the possibility of being able to see with tariffs. But we can leave that for another day. We'll have a good conversation.
All global factors, but yes, I will be back out.
All right, thank you so much, man. Listen, that does it for us here at The Rundown. Be sure to stay locked in and locked on. This is ZNS Network here in the Bahamas for Bahamas Tonight at 11 p.m. It's the final newscast in the country with the latest news and information from Corvell Pyfrom. From all of us here at ZNS, I'm Howard Grant, and thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some logs here.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys' waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been queuing for some grouper dread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work.
Where the fish gone, though?
But how, though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
Influenza, or the flu as it is commonly called, is a viral illness that usually occurs between the months October to March. The virus is transmitted from person to person through coughing, sneezing, or talking. Symptoms include fever, cough, headache, runny nose, generalized body aches, and fatigue. There is no specific treatment for the flu, and the symptoms usually dissipate after 3 to 7 days. Because it is caused by a virus, antibiotics are not used to treat the flu. Persons are encouraged to rest and drink lots of fluids. Panadol is recommended for fever and body aches associated with the flu. However, aspirin should be avoided due to the risk of bleeding. To decrease the spread of flu, persons are encouraged to get their flu shot annually and practice good cough hygiene. Additional information can be provided by your community clinic or the Health Education Division at the Ministry of Health. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the Public Hospitals Authority.
Oh, you're still here?
But of course you are. But be sure to tune in every weekday at 7:30 p.m. for the Bahamas Tonight Access Now,
Where we bring you the brighter side of news.
Join us for the Bahamas Tonight
Access Now, weeknights at 7:30 p.m.
At the Lyndon Bindling International Airport, I'm Corvell Pyfrom. This is ZNS.
You and Your Money is brought to you by Central Bank of the Bahamas and the Parliamentary Registration Department,